hunt you right down to the end of your days. And I'll be right there at the top of the maze while the rats in the sewer stay stuck in the days. So now I'm coming for you all, whether you like it or not, you've already gotten involved. Don't take it personal, I gotta finish you off, cause only room at the top for one gun in the drawer.
Change of range.
Hello and welcome to the Dota Pro Circuit. We are here in the Southeast Asia region, brought to you by PGL. We've got a very exciting series on our hands today, the top versus the bottom, and a lot at stakes. And joining me to break down that game is Black and Lacoste. Gentlemen, how are we doing on this lovely day?
Good we are doing all right. We had an okay morning. What about you?
Yeah, we had an okay evening as well. You know, our pubs went well. We were all PMA. And just enjoying a good evening of Dota. Now we're here to enjoy some Southeast Asian Dota.
We are certainly here to enjoy some good Southeast Asian Dota as well. Of course, the game on our hands is Vice versus Neon. Neon currently 4-0, and Vice, unfortunately, not doing so hot down at the bottom. But they do have one win under their belt after they beat Execration. But unfortunately, if they lose the series, then they do not stand a chance of making it to the upper division for next season. As you can see there, 1-3, not looking too hot currently, but you know, there's hope. There's hope. I mean, if there's any region where the top team could fall to the bottom team, then it's certainly this one, isn't it?
Just theoretically, if Vice were to win every game and Neon were to lose every game from now on, there would be the same standing. It's a possibility.
Well,
it's not very likely, but there's a chance.
There's a chance.
It has happened before, for sure.
Yeah.
Underdog suddenly, you know, has like a resurgence of, I don't know, godly power suddenly.
A second wind.
Yep, and they suddenly just go ham. There's a chance, unlikely, but it can happen.
To be more realistic, it's probably not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen.
Sharing some dreams, but yeah, just feels Neon feels like a really, really strong team right now compared to the others. They seem a bit more stable. For sure. Yeah.
Is there a risk of overconfidence here from Neon, though, considering they're top of the top and they're facing, you know, the bottom team, second bottom team, I should say. So Execration did lose to Vice, so technically Vice are above them. Is there a risk that Neon come into this without thinking things through?
I don't think so. You're 4-0, but you know, you still take every series seriously, and you know, you're just gonna give 100%, no doubt about that. We might see, you know, maybe some a bit of a different picks if they're up 1-0, and then try maybe, you know, for that Earth Spirit mid that they like to play from time to time. We still haven't seen it, but you know, it's a possibility.
It is indeed a possibility there. There's a few kind of ace-in-the-hole picks which we haven't really seen from this team in this Dota Pro circuit just yet. I mean, they're doing just fine without them. They're playing very on-meta and kind of not going down those routes as they have done in previous patches. Do you think it's because those kind of niche picks are not as good in this patch, or do you think they've just got a better idea, a different idea on how to play the game this time around?
I mean, these niche picks are just... they're very risky, you know, like an Earth Spirit middle. If you snowball really hard, for example, it can work, you know, you dominate the whole map. But if you lose your lane, you suddenly become a non-factor, and that could just contribute to your loss, you know. You don't want to lose, like, based on, like, some cheese pick that you thought might be good, you know. The more stable you are, the more you're going to win. That's just always how it is.
All right, so when we're looking at Neon, Lacoste, who would you say is kind of the standout performer on this team?
Yopaj, for sure. Like, he has insane hero pool. Yeah, their mid laner. Just feels very stable in terms of like the first 10 minutes of the game, his decision making, rotations. If the lanes are not going well, I can see the communication between like the side lanes where, you know, either it's him saying, I need to help you out, how you guys doing on the side lanes, then you can see his rotations, just playing with the team, which I really, really like.
Well, those head-to-head looks that looks
Oh,
really
God.
good.
Oh,
So
no.
you guys are doing
Oh,
well.
No,
in-
no. All right. Yeah,
I see a lot of strengths on one side and a lot of weaknesses.
Uh-huh.
on the other.
All right. Yeah, I think we've seen all we need to see. Let's take that off screen before everyone, the Vice fans, just leave. That was pretty brutal, though. But I mean, it is kind of testament to just how dominant Neon have been throughout this tournament. You know, they haven't been dropping games, and when you don't lose games, your stats look pretty darn good, don't they? Talk to me about Vice, Black. You know, who needs to kick off on this team in order for them to have a good game?
I mean, everyone really like.
I was waiting for it that you're gonna say like position 1 to 5.
I mean, you really can't like single out the person. I feel like the games that they have won, they played quite well together, you know. And in the games they lost, they all just looked completely lost on the map. None of them knew where to go, what to do. They're just like going here and there individually, you know, dying all over the map. And you can just tell like the team lacks like a sort of leader, like unity, you know.
Yeah. I can already feel who you want to say, Lacoste. Your boy.
Bob.
Bobby?
Bob, of course,
Bob Weiss. Yeah,
Oh, Bobby Vice.
it's hard to pick one. I think I have to agree with Black said. You know, it's
Wow, that's rare.
it's not. It's really not. When we're talking about Dota, you know, you and me are pretty much on the same page.
That
But
is
when
true.
we're talking about life, then it's a different.
That is also the same thing.
What do you guys disagree on?
Almost nothing.
Give me an example.
No, we're actually very similar.
Yeah, he's a Dominic, I'm a Dominic. He's a little bit older than me, so he has more expertise in certain areas of life. But when I reach his age, I'll be
Just
where
like
he is
me,
now.
you know, he's gonna be as wise as me.
Yeah, but then of course he's gonna be older again. He's like the future.
Like he's
me.
a better Dota player than me right now, because you know I'm older, boomer, you know, and all that stuff.
Arthritis, yeah.
Exactly.
But he's a better real life player than me.
We complement each other nicely.
Yeah.
Lacoste, the real life player, as we all know him, that playboy mentality. All right, let's talk a little bit about Neon here. You know, this team, you already mentioned Yopaj, and I think it'd be unfair not to mention Natsumi as well, because he's had some excellent performances from the safe lane, and even to Bill. I mean, to be honest, when a team's winning every game, you can pretty much talk about any player and highlight how good they've been. But for me, I think for my highlight player of this team, I'd probably actually say DeBill from the POS 5 or 4. They seem to mix it up, but mostly POS 5, right?
Yeah, I think Scam also for me.
Yeah.
Natsumi, he's really good, don't get me wrong, but the games they have lost, he was a big part of them, where he would just itemize completely wrongly, and you can't do that as a carry. No. That is like the one golden rule as carry, you're not allowed to buy wrong items, because the gold that you get, you need to use well in order to get your team ahead.
Yeah, we see that quite often, like in most of the teams that are losing. One of the reasons why they are losing is because they cannot itemize properly. Sometimes you see this Battle Fury, Monkey King, when it's not a good game for him, you know, you're kind of missing your timings. Instead, like a Maelstrom is a cheaper pickup into BKB, which allows you to fight with the team. But some players like to go full greed, a Battle Fury into Ags and then into BKB. It takes a lot of time, you know, just to finish that item build.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, we do have the draft underway, so let's jump into it. It's Neon Esports versus Vice Esports, game number 1. I'm going to start things off with a Nyx Assassin picked up by Vice Esports. Any interesting bans here? I wouldn't say so. It's pretty by the by.
Pretty standard stuff, yeah.
But Puck into Nyx Assassin is a little bit rare, but obviously Neon is really prioritizing that Puck no matter what. And honestly, that hero, even though Nyx counters him, you know, you can outplay him. And Puck is still just Puck. The hero is just too good right now.
What do you get? Like Shadow Shaman, I wouldn't mind. I just love Hex against the Puck. Very hard to actually bring down.
Means Nyx 5 though, which is a little bit weak.
It's a bit weaker, but I still feel you could get the same thing out of the hero once you're out of the laning stage.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Shadow Shaman's good. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Instant hexes are super popular this patch simply because there's all these spirits that you pick, whether it's Storm Spirit or Ember or Void Spirit, all of them are really scared.
Spirits have been popular for like year and a half, where you know, just they feel good to play. Most of the time they're like last picked, and yeah, they do their job. So they respond with a Tusk, great save against the Shadow Shaman, against the Hex, mostly Shackle. Tusk is a hero that provides you with pretty much everything. You have like block potential, you have Roche taking potential with the tag team. Like Tusk as a hero, he counters certain heroes. Let's say like a Timbersaw. You bring 3 heroes with the Tusk, Diverso's dead, even though he feels tanky. Tag team just destroys him.
Yeah, tag team is a really potent
That's
spell.
why it's called tag team.
Yeah, because you tag him.
And then your team hits him.
Yes, you
I
tag
see.
your team.
Oh, I never spotted that one before. Thank you, guys.
That's okay. That's what we're here for.
That hard-hitting
Expert
analysis.
exactly. But
Good
that could be our
stuff.
off lane. They do like to run Tusk on off lane rather than pos 4.
Yeah.
I mean, they do both, of course, but they have a record of playing it on play hard. Who's the off lane player?
Yeah, he doesn't mind taking a couple of these kind of, the bullets for his team, as it were, and just kind of playing something more almost supporty, but not really supporty. And then sometimes we see, we see them switch it up and put them on something more kind of carriage. I think he's got good versatility on play hard, which kind of gives them a lot of fluidity in their draft.
Yeah. I feel like their pos 3 actually play hard is, as the game goes on, more transitioning into a pos 4, and Scam is going to the pos 3 most of the time. He's a more greedy position 4 player for sure. Like we've seen his Night Stalkers, get like the BKB blink timing minute 20, which even for an offlaner is ridiculous. But they definitely have a very good chemistry going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember a game when he played Sanking on the offlane. I think 2
play hard,
times in a row, play hard. Yeah, didn't really feel that comfortable playing the hero, to be honest. Like when you play Sanking, when you play certain heroes, like you need to know what your hero is capable of and what you need to do. Like, do you epicenter or do you burrow strike? It's a big difference, understanding what needs to go first in certain situations. I think we've seen Enigma. I'm not sure who was playing it the other day, where like they just fell apart.
It was Cuckoo, I think.
It could be, yeah, because like the wrong item build and you miss 1 or 2 black holes, then you're like kind of deciding, what am I doing wrong? Like, can I go for this kind of a play again? Like, you're losing so much confidence when you miss like 2 black holes. Could be the same thing with heroes like a Sanking.
But we have seen it quite a lot actually. Like these big team fighters, when they mess up once or twice, especially in this league so far, both China and SEA, they miss their combo once or twice, and suddenly they're just in their own head, and they don't play Dota anymore. It's like, I can't initiate, guys. You gotta go in first. I need this really big black hole here, and you just never see it again, and they just lose.
It's sad when it happens, but sometimes it do. Do you think that's a more common thing with newer players, older players, or across the board?
Probably across the board, right? Like, it's just a mental thing, really. Like, you black hole air, and you're like, man. And then it happens again, you're just mentally out of it.
Yeah, you're done. It
you need a
actually
reset
affects
button.
you.
Yeah, this is the moment where you pause the game, tactical pause, and go wash your face.
Wow.
Wash your face.
Yeah.
Is that what you do
Spirit
for the hard?
Breaker.
Oh, there we go. Something a bit fruity from Neon Esports. I'm going to pull out the Spirit Breaker. What do we
Super
think?
good, though. It is a hard counter to Nyx Assassin.
Yes.
As soon as he goes invis and you're charged, the entire jig's up. 100%, you know what he's doing. And also good against Shadow Shaman. You don't care about Shackles or Hex, because you have like 70% status resistance. It's a pretty damn good hero here.
Tis indeedy.
And what is it going to be, like 5 Spirit Breaker, probably?
5 or
Or
4,
Tusk
it's a possibility. I don't like Tusk as a position 5. I
Same.
just don't feel you get the most from the hero, where he really scales with the item. Like, once you get that Blink Dagger, it's so much easier for you to save people, much easier to initiate, surprise people if they have like BKBs and stuff. So, yeah, I want to see something from Vice that, I mean, they have enough control for puck, that's for sure. I just want to see like in which direction they're going to go. They need to reveal their hand.
Yeah. And they go for the
Brewmaster.
brew. Okay.
They didn't reveal much at all. But it's
Neon-
probably going to be Brewmaster 3, Shaman
Immediately
4.
with the Morphling. I love this Neon draft, honestly. Like, I think these first 3 heroes, like, where are they going? What are they doing? We really don't know, and Neon can kind of play that how they want. How hard is this to draft into?
I mean, Morph can also still go middle. Like, the entire draft is super flexible, really open. And Vice is going to have a hard time drafting into it, because it's pretty obvious that Brewmaster is going to be off lane, and Shaman 4, and Nyx 5. So they really showed a lot already.
Yeah.
Whereas Neon, you don't know where this guy is going at all.
Neon have woken up and they have done their yoga.
They have like instant lockdown against the Morphling, which is always nice. A bit lacking on the burst damage department. Like, Brewmaster is really not that hero. He's more about the
Phantom
control.
Lancer.
Okay,
Oh.
they respond with the Phantom Lancer.
Into a puck, though.
puck. Yeah, so that's a bit tricky. But yeah, Phantom Lancer against the Morphling. Morphling always struggle against the Illusion heroes, against the Mana Burn. So it's a better matchup for Phantom Lancer for sure.
Yeah. And they also have Nyx, who counters a lot of PL counters. Like Ember, you don't want to play into Nyx. Lashrak, yeah. Zeus even.
True.
It's going to be a little bit tricky to counter this PL.
Yeah, I've never thought about that, but Nyx really does cover PL very well in the draft, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So they need probably like an off lane that provides them some AoE. They still think it's a possibility they put Puck on the mid lane because they just banned Ember Spirit.
Yeah, I think it's more likely going to be Puck offlane because they need an answer to this PL now, which I think is going to be Ember. I mean, they banned Ember, but
I think it's better to try to respond to Phantom Lancer from the off lane. Like what?
well, what hero is there, you think?
Underlord?
Underlord is good.
Possibly Underlord. Like it can be played on a mid lane. Works really, really well. And they don't have like look at their damage. Like it's a very
lacking.
static damage, I would say, from Vice. So Underlord could be a good option. Kanka, yeah, we kind of forgot about that hero. That hero's not under my radar at all.
Yeah, it feels very like weak in the mid lane right now. But yeah, I mean, Underlord is definitely a possibility if they want to go off lane, or it could also go mid. I mean, if they pick Underlord, the entire draft is super open. Like they can do anything.
So hard to play. Like even when you're just like deciding who's going where, like, don't know.
Yeah.
Could go anywhere.
Yeah, Neon, and hopefully they don't get into their own head, you know, like,
Yeah, and then go like, we're going to put Tusk mid and
I would love to
Earth
see
Spirit.
possibly like a Dead Prophet for Vice. I think that pick would round them up whole draft nicely.
They need damage for sure, and DP would definitely offer that. Is there any other burst damage in the game? Not really.
It's a lot of chaos. Like if they go with the Dead Prophet, you have Phantom Lancer Illusions, Brewmaster Split, Shadow Shaman Wards. Like these are stuff, that you kind of don't want to focus in a fight. You're not gonna see a hero just, focusing Shadow Shaman Wards in the middle of a team fight.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
But then what do you focus if there's nothing to focus?
The Shaman.
Okay.
Yeah, just focus the Shaman first. Sounds like a
Just
good
throw
idea.
the kitchen sink at him. Why not?
Dragon
And
Knight.
they go with the DK. Okay. A big tanky frontliner to round off this draft. Is it tickling your pickle, Black?
Nah, very lacking in damage, I feel. It's, I mean, DK is generally a good hero. They think their Puck is middle, but I don't think it has to be at all. Like, Underlord would make perfect sense. So just put him middle. DK can never pressure an Underlord. You can never push the tower. Counters PL, counters Dragon Knight. It
just feels like a really good Underlord game.
yeah,
to be
it would
honest.
be perfect here, I think. And
What-
this DK just, like, I don't know why they picked it. Like, we were speaking about them lacking damage.
Yeah.
And DK doesn't offer that until late game.
Yeah. It's a feeling of very... This draft lacks a punch.
Yeah. Like, they have a lot of sustained damage, but nothing...
Yeah.
Legion Commander.
Ooh, okay,
Wait, so-
okay.
So do they put Puck against DK then? Willingly? It's
Yes.
a terrible matchup. They do. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
This Puck is pretty hardcore counter this game. They have like
He's
3
playing
good
at the
heroes.
next Shaman, Dragonite stun, so it could be tough. Like this.
It's an alpha move, isn't it? Just being like, I'll play it anyway.
Yeah.
Yep, are you sure? They've got 3 counters? I don't care.
I still... they
I
do have a Legion Commander to dispel the stun. So Puck and that... As we said, they don't have damage. They just have a lot of stun. But if you dispel that with Legion, it's a good pick overall, I think.
Yeah. All right. So what are your predictions, guys? Let me hear it.
I'll still go with Neon,
Yeah.
but I feel Vice has a really good draft, and this game is going to be much closer than we kind of expected just coming into this series.
Yeah, draft-wise, at least.
Yes, for sure.
The only reason why I think Neon is going to win quite handily is just because I expect their aggression to just overrun Vice, who have shown in the past they don't really know how to react properly in terms of numbers and stuff, you know. So I'm going to go with Neon as well.
I would go with Vice. However, I think this PL is not going to have the easiest game. Even if he gets a lot of farm, I think the Legion Commander deals pretty well with him. And the Puck does, and as does the Morphling later on in the game as well. He's got talents and everything to overcome the Morph. So I'm going to go with Neon as well, unfortunately. No making it spicy today. But let's bring in our casters, as we have, of course, Beakyop and Lizard waiting in the booth to get into it. Guys, what do we have to say?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Brief.
Hanging out with the Shaman today. A little bit before the game, we put a potion together to figure out the winner. It was Feather of Eagle, Eye of Toad, Tongue of Chameleon, as well as the Scales of an Armadillo. You put that in a nice cauldron, spin it together, and then poof, in a cloud of smoke came up the Neon logo. They're going to take game 1.
I see. That's why your eyes were so red this morning. Lizard?
I see every time he does one of his little stories, it kind of corresponds to what the panel has said already. It's something fishy happening
don't be
there.
silly. It's just the fortune tellers doing their thing.
Yep, but this draft again from Vice looks pretty solid. Like one of the things that they never really lacked at is having good drafts. And once again, this PL, yeah, he's playing versus Puck, but he's also playing versus Morphing. And later on in the game, he could take over. I'm still going with Neon, though.
Alrighty then. Well, it's looking pretty strong for Neon in game number 1. We'll hand it over to you guys to get into the game of game number 1 of Neon versus Vice. Take it away, B-Cop and Lizard.
Thank you, Nomad. Yeah, potentially a big series here for Neon. It's, you know, every series is a big series, of course, but Neon just getting closer and closer to that goal, making it to the major. Vice, this is do or die time with them pretty much. Every series onwards is something that they need to take to stay in the upper division. Things are close to the bottom with 3 teams tied, and you know, both these teams are participating in multiple events while playing in the DPC. I know some people are like, why don't you just focus on the DPC? That's really where your head should be at. But there was an event recently while during the group stage, it was BO2s, where Vice took a game over Neon. So it's not impossible that Vice can surprise us and put something together and beat this team.
Also, you're completely right about that, but keep in mind that in some of those events, teams aren't playing necessarily as, you know, as seriously as in the DPC, because I've seen some Pangoliers safe lane with Maelstrom, Heart, SNY. I've seen some Meepo pickups from Vice, actually, so you never know. Maybe we'll see something cheesy coming from Vice, but if they do not get those really out-of-the-box picks, I don't think that they're the stronger team, and that's why we're on the panel.
Already in trouble. Tag team comes out. You've got Jean-Yuel with him. Good 2-man stun.
Yep, he's out.
So the thing with Neon, I know in that past event that they were playing in, they did end up going into the lower bracket immediately, I think losing 2-0 to Omega, but then they won out. They didn't drop a game from the lower bracket to the grand final. They 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0 all the way through, and I mean, this is just a team that's disgustingly in form right now. And while this is a good time to be in form, and you know, when they're getting closer and closer to making it to the major.
And they switched things up, right? Like this, one of the players switched their role, then they got a different core player. But overall, it didn't hurt them at all. You could even hear when we were interviewing, I think it's KP, maybe someone from T1 as well. No one expected the Neon to do so well. They're undefeated so far, at least when it comes to the series.
And that might have something to do with that too, is the fact that they're just undervaluing where Neon are at. I think a lot of teams may be underestimating how strong they are. I mean, these are guys who are just, one, have been playing together for a long time, or not a long time, for a decent amount of time to really put the chemistry together. And two, I mean, this team has just been on a roll pretty much throughout the entire off-season, or, well, off-season, meaning no DPC.
There's a lot of ego involved as well, 100%. We talked to some players and they would be like, yeah, you know, we were a little bit too relaxed. Then we lost a couple of series, and it's a wake-up call because every single series matters. And very important series for both of these teams. By the way, speaking of the lanes, Puck is demolishing Bob on mid lane for this matchup, by the way. Yeah. Because Puck is 12-5 in a matchup in which Puck normally does not fare so well. This should not be happening, really.
But we've seen this before with Bob. We've seen Bob have beneficial lanes that, on paper, the matchup looks really good for him, and he struggles. He has a hard time keeping up with these more seasoned mids. And I know Yopaj is a young dude, but he has definitely shown a lot of promise in this lane and has really just held to the highest standards in these mid matchups. He's played some tough opponents.
SCA is crazy talented.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you really have to notice in this region. Maybe the calls later on in the game, how to push high ground, how to defend the triangle, team fights around Rosh Pit. Maybe that's not stellar. Maybe that's not on the same level as other regions. But man, do they have talent.
Yeah.
And usually that talent really shines on position 4s and mid lanes. Mid lanes, we've seen Mikoto solo carry games, which is extremely difficult in some situations.
For sure.
Yopaj as well, his Queen of Pain that went on the first few days like 22 or 20-0. It's, yeah, just a pleasure to watch these young upcoming stars.
That's like the one thing I think I've really noticed about SEA is a lot of names that are just kind of like, they're making a homestay with these names. You're like, oh, well, who is this dude? Then he performs really well, and you're like, all right, I got to keep an eye on him. They have like 2 or 3 more good games in a row, and all of a sudden you're a massive fan. Like, that's definitely happened to me. I've watched a couple of these guys, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to keep up a lot more with this and like really keep an eye on these guys because
who's your favorite so far? Is it Mikoto?
I think Mikoto is definitely one of those guys I've been enjoying the most at the moment, but Yopaj has been a favorite of mine since before this event, and I love keeping an eye on him. I've called him Yopaj God after every game on Twitter. He's just really ripping it up.
I'm just sad that Bombi is kind of forgotten, like as well, because his team is losing. But bottom lane.
Yeah, bottom lane charge away from Jean-Yuel, and not the fastest of charges.
It feels so funny when you charge and you don't have any movement speed to begin with, so you just kind of slowly move out of the way.
Yeah.
The Spirit Breaker, by the way, is underpicked overall in this tournament. We've seen T1 pick it a couple of times with their Spirit Breaker plus Mirana combos. But this hero is strong.
Charge again, waveform forward, somehow in trouble. Bash on Onryu. They leave this Shadow Shaman alive, but that's because they've chosen another victim, potentially the Brewmaster, who just makes it away.
Yeah. Look, there is no way this lane should be going this poorly for Vice as well. They shouldn't be zoned out. They shouldn't be bullied by Spirit Breaker and Morphling. Spirit Breaker has 5 armor. He's pretty strong early on, but he didn't bring a lot of regen to the lane too. And you have a Shadow Shaman that hits for 80.
Yeah.
You should be able to do just a tiny little bit better here.
We've seen situations similar to this where you don't bring a lot of regen, where you do get punished. We've seen a couple Brewmasters who show up with like just boots and like 2 tangos.
Charge mid.
Charge mid over onto Bob. Not sure they're going to get this kill, but Yopaj hoping to get a rune out of this. It's Zankyu picks up the illusion rune top. But now they've got the shackles onto the Spirit Breaker. And they'll also have themselves a Hex with a rotation of a +1 from Zankyu. We'll see if they can get the kill. Up onto the high ground, and the Breathe Fire from Bob does allow him to get first blood.
Bob with the next level plays. Maybe does not do that much on the mid lane, but baits out that charge, gets into good position, uses level 2 Breathe Fire to get himself a kill. Also went with the level 1 stun on level 5. Peculiar. That level 1 stun is the value point on Dragon Knight. Obviously, you get so much. It's the longest level 1 stun.
Yeah.
But, and versus Puck, obviously, it does make sense to take it.
It does give them a lot of lockdown pretty early on with the Shackle, the Dragon Tail coming through, and then if you follow that up with an Ix Assassin Impale, going on to Onryu, but immediately a TP.
I have to say, Zenki so far has been on point with his movements on the map as an Ix. Like, first securing that top rune, now securing the bounty rune. It means so much because Yopaj does not have his bottle refilled. And obviously Bob has built-in regen from Dragon's Blood, so...
Yeah, we'll see if, sometimes you'll see like 4 or 5s get like over-aggressive when you need a bottle fill over mid. They'll try to make a kill, and if they end up dying, they'll TP mid to refill that bottle, but they're still trying to go into Palace. Ooh, overwhelming odds.
Oh, level 1.
And the kill, they got him. All right. Play hard, getting the kill. Spike Carapace comes in. Shards lock up Zanky. It should be 2. It will be 2 for Play Hard.
Oh, man.
That really shouldn't have turned into 2, and all of a sudden, Vice put themselves in a bad spot.
PL was good there. If he just ran north, because I think what he was trying to do is juke the build, because he's afraid of the shards finishing him off, right?
Yeah.
But the problem was, Tusk didn't have level 2. He was still level 1 6 minutes in.
Trying to make a move over mid. They've also got Deville coming in. The charge is onto Bob. He needs to be careful, but the charge ends up being stopped early. They've got the stun, the Spike Carapace, as well as the Breathe Fire to finish off Deville. And that is a defensive Dream Coil that allows Yopaj to leave. So now their lockdown is lacking on the side of Neon, and pressure comes out from Vice over mid.
Man, Vice are playing really well around this DK. Understanding, once he pops that form, we need to be mid. Everyone.
Charge comes through. They've got the silence with the Waning Rift, but a 2-man stun from Zanky. Deville back over mid, refills that bottle for Yopaj.
No, they failed. They failed. He didn't have an item slot. They didn't refill the bottle. This means a lot for a puck.
That's really bad.
Yep.
I thought he was right on it.
Also, in that first fight when Dreamcall was used, Samael managed to hex Yeonyeo, so they didn't get that charge off.
Waveform, Onryu in some trouble. There's a Thunderclap out, but they've got this Shadow Shaman again with the Hex. They're looking for the Shackle, trying to keep this Brewmaster alive as best they can, but Spirit Breaker eventually gets the finishing blow. Morphs into the Brewmaster as well. They've also got the Tusk coming in. They're diving under the Tier 1 tower. Charge out, shards in, perfectly placed. There's the Hex onto the Spirit Breaker, but they still can't get a return kill. So that means Januel tried to TP, but the Impale lands. Zanky on it still, and that will be Spirit Breaker's life going with it.
If there's a set of supports that you would like to have if you're playing aggressively, that would be Tusk and Spirit Breaker.
Yeah.
These two, they can backfire very easily, because if you don't do a lot in the laning stage, suddenly they feel extremely weak from, let's say, 12 minute to 20 minute, 15 to 20 minute mark, let's put it that way. But if you do well enough in the laning stage, they feel like these beasts you cannot control.
Yeah, and that's the style we've seen Neon play. Just over hyper aggression, and there really hasn't been many moments where it's bitten them. They've kind of gotten away with it pretty heavily. And well, ace from Zanky picks it up, was trying to hold it for Bob, but after the charge came in, unsure about that, picks it up himself. Unfortunate
for Yopaj, really. It's another rune that he didn't pick up. He was very low on mana, and he just TP'd base.
Yeah.
He realized, okay, I can't lane anymore. I can't defend this tower.
Palace's lane is not going that well. He is towards the bottom, or the mid-pack here. And, oh god, getting chased again. They've got the duel. Do they have the damage to finish him off before the duel's over? It's going to be close, but Palace one shot from dead, and there it is again from Playhard, who now has a killing spree. After the double kill over top, he gets one more to add to his count. And while Playhard making Palace's life a living hell, it's a free farm for Natsumi top.
And that's so interesting, because you have different options.
They have Dream Coil, and that's going to be used. That hits onto the Shadow Shaman as well as this Brewmaster. Onryu is going to be the first one to drop on the side of Vice, as this is a big fight that Vice really need, but it doesn't look like they're going to get anything out of this one. Bob sitting low, Samael, he drops and hits the deck. They do end up getting a kill into the Spirit Breaker. Palace makes the rotation over mid, but they're still focusing their attention onto the Dragon Knight. The stun hits from Zenki on the low ground. Waning Rave gets the silence. Illuminor misses it. Oh, that's a bad mark to miss, because now Yopaj is dead. They'll chase onto the Tusk. They've got 3 heroes here, so it's looking like Tabeel is dead to rights. And somehow a little bit of misplay from Neon costs them heavily. Playhard comes over. They'll use the Primal Split. Playhard's in here real late by himself for no reason. Tries to get away, but the Breathe Fire from Bob just on the edge gets the kill. And Vice,
they
take the Tier 1 mid. That is, I just said, they hadn't really been bitten by their over-aggression.
Yep.
That's it right there.
That was a little bit too much. I think they're feeling themselves just as we've seen many other teams do.
Yeah.
Like they're, okay, we're on top of the SCA leaderboards. We can just play over and roll over Vice. You can't. Vice is a decent team too, even though they haven't been performing that well. You could see that aggression, trying to kill DK there. It doesn't happen if you're playing to your full potential.
Yeah.
You don't try to go for that DK. You only have a Tusk and a Puck. You don't have the damage output.
And then a little bit of a misplay trying to get onto the high ground. That was just, you know that you can't say anything more than that. It's just, it's a misplay. You missed time trying to get out of there. But it was also, you had to rush it. You're either going to get killed on the low ground or...
Now, the proper play is you kill off the Panda, you kill off one more hero. When you see the PL TPing there, you go back.
Yeah.
That's it.
You don't keep fighting.
Yeah, you don't keep fighting. That's the proper way of playing. But as we said, Neon, they like their aggressive play style, and this time around it didn't work out for them.
The real question was why Playhard came in so late. I was very unsure why he'd make a decision like that.
The real question is why not use the split a little bit earlier? I think that's what forced that fight.
Puck. Serpent Ward's down and committed, but the snowball save that puts him on to Zanky, who pops the spike. Carapace, they have the Hex. Fuko comes through on to 3. This is really well done. Overwhelming odds, hits all 3. They've got the duel on the victory. All 3 dead immediately. Vice, boy, and they're gonna farm themselves some wards.
That's the way to play.
Yeah.
If that last team fight didn't go too well, this one definitely did.
That was a lot cleaner.
Yeah, a lot cleaner. Plus, they bait out the wards, which means that pushing potential from them will not happen anywhere else. Bob also farming top lane. He's farming towards his Blink Dagger, and once he gets that, they have some initiating tools, but do they have the damage? That's really questionable.
That was rough, and that's the first dual victory there for the Legion Commander too, right? So You want to always get that ball rolling. We've seen Legions 30 minutes in not have any dual damage.
Who needs duel? Did you see the damage from Overwhelming Gods?
Yeah, that with a Dream Coil, that was so much damage coming out from Playhard. He's having a really good game at the moment, sitting third in the net worth. He's still, like, he's having such a good game, but even then, Natsumi is 1,100 gold ahead of him.
Yeah. One thing you have to notice, the way they're itemizing on Neon. You have Tusk with Phase Boots. You have Puck going for a Veil. You have this maxed out Overwhelming Gods, which isn't really that strange, but still. It all comes together in these mid-game engagements in which you pop that Veil, all spell damage is increased. You just destroyed them in these early fights. And Vice, they don't have a lot of utility. They might be tanky on DK, but they don't have a ton of utility. No Vlads, no Mac, nothing like that right now. Just a Nern on Brew. So
yeah, they need to survive as long as they can, try to get towards those stability items. And, well, I mean, they have to then also choose to go for stability.
Very interesting that they're keeping Fairy Trinket on Spirit Breaker, by the way. This is one of those situations when you're a 5 and you find a really good item and you just hope no one notices. You know,
Dude, are you holding a Fairy's Trinket right now? No.
No? What do you
I
mean?
don't know what you're talking about.
You just drop it on the ground. I don't have an item. I don't have a neutral item.
It's back in base. What?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, he's holding that right now. Puck is holding a Keen Optic, so still happy there. And Natsumi's got
I'd still rather have it on Puck, I think.
Yeah.
This Fairy Trinket, 5% spell damage, 100 health. It's just so valuable.
Blink Dagger picked up for the DK, so they smoked up. They were looking for something. They're still coming over bottom. Zenki with the Vendetta. Looking for Playhard, who goes into the trees, has a TP, would have to use it now, but Zenki's there. So they've got the stun, won't even use the Vendetta hit, just wants to have the control. Doppelganger over, as well as the Hex coming out from Samael. They've got the Shackles to have the control, they'll get the kill, but this is 5 heroes coming bottom for a Legion Commander. That's a lot of commitment for one guy.
And Legion Commander is in a position that you sometimes heard probably that lane. That's where he is. He doesn't truly want to farm that much. He just wants to outpush that lane while the rest of his team farms and makes space on top lane.
This is good though. I like this. They can get themselves the tier 2 with the Serpent Wards, move and take an
Don't
outpost.
be so sure.
Yeah, that's if they don't defend it. But Neon, with their aggression, I'd be shocked if they didn't.
Because remember, they have charge. They also smoked up. They fortified, which means these wards will be just picked off by Puck.
And not exactly putting as much pressure on as I thought, but they did get half the tower damage, so not nothing.
Not nothing, but you're still waiting for some items.
Yeah.
Dragonite, by moving into this early Blink Dagger, is not. He's tanky, but he's not that hero that can just stand up front no matter what.
Shards over to the side. Not going to matter. They're still sticking with him. Walrus Punch. Charge coming in. Zenki in trouble. Already used the Spike Carapace, so he's dead to rights. Another kill there for the Spirit Breaker. So Jean-Yuel doing a good job.
One of the old school heroes to counter anything Invis that gives info, such as Bounty Hunter, such as Riki, such as Nyx Assassin, is Spirit Breaker. The moment they walk over one Sentry and Obs combo, you can charge them, and then your team follows up. It's very difficult for Nyx in this game. It's really, really not an easy game for him.
Yeah, it seems really tough, and we'll see if he's able to make something of this, or if it's going to continue to just be Jean-Yuel making his life a living hell. They've got a Diffusal Blade picked up by the Phantom Lancer. Do you think Vice is itemizing correctly?
I think so, so far. They're not doing any major mistakes. You have the Vessel being bought by Enryu as well for the Morphling. The Diffusal isn't bad on PL2. They are getting their items, it's just that...
Ooh, Zenki, he does get the stun, he does get the bounty. They're going to chase him, though. They want this dual damage. They'll have the charge land in with Blade Mail popped, and Yopaj easy kill on Zenki, easy dual damage. So 20 dual damage for Playhard. But I think this is fine from Zenki. Yes, he's giving up dual damage, like that stinks. But they've really opened up a lot of space for Palos.
Yeah.
His lane went horribly.
It's a position 5 Nyx. This is what you do. You don't truly want to be dying, obviously, but if you do, it's, you know, consequences of giving info.
Yeah, giving that info, doing what you can, keeping the map open. DK going into the BKB, so Blink BKB. He's got the Ogre Axe already, working on the other 2 components.
I don't mind that at all. It helps him stand up front once he has this BKB. Right now, even the build-up is really nice. Top.
Top lane looking over. They found themselves a Spirit Breaker. Palace with a kill. His game's really starting to turn on.
That's the defusal. Already, he has some fighting potential. Mostly these pickoffs. He's still not strong enough to really go in a fight, unless there's a Dragonite with the BKB standing up front, tanking all the aggression.
Natsumi, I believe, had an eye on Zanky, who was there with the Vendetta, trying to keep vision on the Morphling while Palace came around.
Shaman, not the demon.
The instant hex and
the
everything.
other one,
yeah.
So you really want to have those Lincolns. It is very defensive, like you said, though.
Maybe they get away with that, considering they had a lead coming into this out of the laning phase. There's the Dream Coil, as well as the Charged Snowball coming through. Serpent Ward's committed. They've got the duel on a Bob. They'll get the kill into the Dragon Knight, but now Cyclone into the air is the Legion Commander. They have the Spirit Vessel on a Debiel. They'll end up losing the Tusk. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but there's the Hex, the Shackle, with the Serpent Wards down, cycloning this Spirit Breaker, but Yopaj in the backlines gets the kill into Samael. They end up losing Play Hard. Palace is in on this. They'll look over at the Spirit Breaker, who charges and hits all 3 heroes. Throws the ult over at Onryu, who's back to form. Waveform away from Natsumi. You've got Zanky, who's dusted up. He was in the Vendetta, but now ends up dead. Palace, he finally gets the kill into the Spirit Breaker, taking out John Yoel. Yopaj over to the side, but he doesn't have a lot of mana to work with anymore. Natsumi may be thinking about fighting continually as his Lincolns gets popped, and Yopaj looks over at Onryu for a second, but phase shift to Illusory Orb just for some distance away from Dire.
Okay, Palace was maybe a little bit... Oh, let's see this.
They want to make this move?
There's no mana on
yeah.
Puck. It's very difficult. Like, you might go with the build, but yeah.
They just want to push him out of the jungle.
He was a little bit too scared there. There were only Puck and Morphling, and Puck was sitting on 200 mana. If he read the situation a little bit better, maybe he could go on the Morphling, but you don't get that kill. Eventually Tusk respawns and he snowballs and whatnot, so you can see the power of this PL. If he joins the fights after they throw everything on Dragonite. So Dragonite is the ultimate taunt.
Dragonite here with the Dream Coil, Walrus Punch, leashed up, Blade Mail Pop trying to get a duel out there. And Bob is low, but Yopaj is with him. Not sure he has the damage, but eventually the duel comes in. Playhard surrounded by 3 heroes. He's still going to get the victory over Samael. They've got the kill into Bob as well as the Shadow Shaman. The 2-man stun comes out from Zanky. That hits onto the Tusk as well as the Legion Commander. They get the kill into Playhard, Illusory Orb over. They get the kill into Onryu. That ends up being 3 dead right now. Palace on the run again. Turn placed on him by the Spirit Breaker. They've got the silence again from the Waning Ray from Yopaj as well as the ult. There's the waveform. Palace gone. Yopaj gets the kill. 4 heroes dead on the side of Vice. As Zanky wants 1, and he'll get it. But does he give up his life for this?
Well, there's a Spirit Breaker with the charge.
Yeah, it looks like it will end up being the full team wipe for Neon, despite the fact that they lose 2.
Okay, so Vice, they're taking every opportunity to fight, and I don't think you should. Yeah, you have the Dragonite ulti, but you don't have one of the strongest teamfight spells right now, and that's Primal Split. They try to fight with Primal Split being on cooldown for 30 extra seconds.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to lose. Neon, they're just forcing fights every time they realize that Panda has no ulti, and for some reason Vice just says, yes, I'll take that gamble, I'll fight.
Yeah, it's a massive gamble because they didn't... I guess maybe it's the Dragonite being the one who's caught. You want to try and protect him because you really need to rely on him. But yeah, mid lane, they've got the Shackle, they have the Hex. Running out of mana, but the charge comes in, hits onto 3. As it comes all the way through, they'll use the Primal Split, but here comes Yopaj. Look at that Dream Coil. Samael ends up dead. They've leashed up Palace as well as Zanky. Zanky will snap it. Doppelganger looking forward, still trying to get the kill on Natsumi, who gets his Lincoln's pop-up. Play hard. He's in, he's deep, and he wants to get a kill onto this Phantom Lancer. He's looking for the duel. He popped the Blade Mail. They'll kill Palace regardless, and now the duel comes out in a Bob. Walrus Punch is in the TP out from the Spirit Breaker while they're still fighting. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Playhard's got another, and Onryu is dead. 4 gone on Vice, and it's all of a sudden a 7K lead for Neon. These are, again, back-to-back fights Vice just should not be taking.
This time around, Morphling is next to the tier 1, and you go on him because you do have the Panda Split, and you caught him, and he's out of mana, and you're thinking, okay, we can take him down, we have Diffusal, we're strong enough. However, Spirit Breaker charges the Shadow Shaman.
It's everybody.
He gives Morphling just a little bit of breather so he can get out, then the follow-up with Dream Coil and all the nuke damage. Puck is doing so much work. Yopaj right now with his Lincolns and Veil of Discord, plus he has... Nether Shawl, the neutral item, which obviously increases his spell damage. He's just destroying them. Zenki?
Zenki. Spike Carapace.
Oh.
All right, he wanted it.
Okay, you can't blame him for that one.
That's a move it feels like he's pressured into making, and they just kind of swat him. Get out of here. Come on.
He's a Nyx. He has Carapace. You walk in, you impale. You're thinking, okay, maybe I can take it.
But at the end of the day, it's just it's one of those maneuvers that look like it's risky. It looks kind of odd at the end of the day, but like that's the move you have to make to try and get your team back in it. We've seen it in China as hold on, duel comes out onto the Shadow Shaman. They'll get Samael. More dual damage here for Playhard. 90 dual damage already. You know, going back to that, it was what almost helped LGD come back. It was that 4-position Ember makes
stealing.
a last-ditch effort to steal the Aegis, and that gives him an opportunity.
Definitely. I agree, but when you're playing versus Legion Commander, that's a little bit scary because you're giving away a little bit more than your life. Plus, if you're Nyx Assassin and you're just walking in, you don't have Vendetta, you're just walking in, impaling and carapacing, you're probably going to die fast enough.
Charge coming bottom on the Palace, who's hit with the Dream Coil. Yopaj in on this. They've also got Onryu, who will use the Primal Split, the Doppelganger Palace. He's silenced. He's in trouble. And now the Walrus Punch comes in. He's low, and he is dead. Dabil, he'll get the kill, and now they're going to try and stick with Onryu. Just a few seconds left until he's back to form. He can run, but he can't hide. And there he is. Full-formed Brewmaster, charged up, hit up, dueled up, killed off, and giving 20 more dual damage over to Playhard.
This Phantom Lancer, by the way, in that fight, he didn't have SNY. He had only the Sanj.
Yeah.
So they're taking these fights where they shouldn't be taking them next to their tier 2. They're also using Primal Split there, even though there's no way they survive. They're wasting some very important resources on their hand.
Yeah.
If Panda had Aghanims, I would understand. Okay, you have 2 charges, you can't do it, but that's not really the play. Just let the PL die. After all, at least he brought them on their side of the map.
It ends up being now Primal Split's on cooldown for another 68. You lose 2 heroes. You
And
give
now
up
you're
dual
losing
damage.
the next fight. You're losing the next fight as well.
Because you can't fight without the Primal Split. That's like, it's such a key ingredient for you to have a chance. It's not even to win the fight. It's just to have a chance at this point.
Yeah, but Bob has his Bob's King Bar. So that's completed. As they were fighting bottom lane, he did manage to complete his BKB. So.
Yeah. They'd open up some space, which is the silver lining, but you really don't want to be giving up those kinds of numbers.
It's a very thin silver lining. Very, very thin.
It's equivalent to like the necklace you see in a mall in one of those 25-cent. It's real thin silver.
Yeah.
Not getting much out of that 25-cent little twister.
One big thing that's coming, obviously Morphling with the E-Blade, these big cores, we don't even have to talk about them. Spirit Breaker he has a point booster in 800 gold. Once he gets his Ags, it's impossible to play the teamfight on side of ice. Aghanims on Spirit Breaker, I know teams have forgotten about that and they aren't picking the hero, they aren't buying that much. But PL suffers so heavily from it. You have 8-second charge constantly. And those illusions are just going to be stunned. And Shadow Shaman, he really doesn't like playing into that.
Blink duel coming through on a Palos. They've got the Phantom Lancer again. And Onryu, once again, tries to come over. They force the Primal Split. This already looks good for Neon. The question is, can they close the door on it? They've got the stun hitting onto the Tusk. They lock down this Nyx Assassin with the Dream Coil. They'll get the kill on Zanki. DK's trying to fight Dabil. But even then, this is a Tusk that's still surviving as the focus and attention was on him. They'll TP away Bob, they'll pop the Lincolns, and now it's the Illusory Orb away from Yopaj, and they'll still get the kill on Onryu and keep Dabil alive. 3 kills for the side of Neon. Everything just spiraling out of control for Vice.
This game, it's looking pretty much over for Vice. They used everything they had there. Dragon Form, Shadow Shaman wards, you use your Brewmaster ulti, it just doesn't work anymore. They're 16k behind. We've seen teams win with
Samael.
Yeah.
No chance. But Bob, all right. Dragon Tilt, they still want to kill Dabil. Maybe they will get him this time as he's under a tier 4 tower, so Bob gets a consolation prize. Start to retreat on the side of Neon. Meanwhile, they did pick up Ags, and they, well, that's the reason they're picking it up is the double charge.
Yeah, the Ags on Morphling.
It's kind of gross. It's
it's
not
not
the
only-
Earthshaker we saw yesterday, but it is still pretty strong.
It's still extremely strong. If you remember OG with Earth Spirit, mid or safe lane or position 4 with Morphling, and then you double roll. It's very similar. You just have these two heroes constantly charging in. Plus, it's not even only the charge. When you morph into Spirit Breaker, obviously you get Bulldoze, which is even better.
Spike Carapace, charge comes in from the Morphling, hit with the Spike Carapace, the Dream Coil placed down, that's onto the Nyx Assassin. Zenki ends up dead with the charge coming out from John Yoel as he looks over, uses that ult, they got the duel out on Onryu, that means no Primal Split, not that it was up anyway, but they've got the Hex, they'll pop the link because they have control on Natsumi, or do they? They look over at this Shadow Shaman, get themselves a third, trying to TP out, Palos is away. The charge is in onto Bob.
Look at them go.
Yeah, double charge, E-Blade popping them. 4 heroes gone again on Vice. It is when it rains, it pours because it is constantly just
Raining
a one-sided affair. Yeah.
Raining cows. There was a tornado somewhere around. It picked up a farm of big, strong bulls, and now they're just falling all over Vice.
I don't know if you ever saw the movie Twister where the cow just comes across the screen.
I saw Sharknado. It's
similar. They probably had a similar scene. Twister came out when we were way younger. That movie scared me to death.
What kind of nightmares did you have of cows crashing into your house?
Just tornadoes, or well, twisters just coming right through, and I'm just
Did you ever have a
spiraling.
dream of Dota, by the way, some heroes or anything like that?
I've had a dream of like winning some MMR.
That's just a dream though, right?
Always. Maybe winning a tournament, doing that.
I'm on 11 loss streak, so...
Charge comes out with the E-Blade, just popping Samael to go after Onryu. They'll find themselves a second. The Dream Coil is placed down. They look over at Palace. They'll finish off this Phantom Lancer. They're all going to buy back and try to fight into this as the BKB's been popped by the DK. They'll use that Elder Dragon form Shackle, only used for a second because they had the Legion Commander coming. They get the kill on the Samael again. He's gone for the second time. These heroes ball back, but they're still losing their lives very quickly. Zanky, he's low, he's dead, he's gone. He buys back. So 4 buybacks used by the side of Vice. They finish off Bob. They've only lost themselves the Spirit Breaker so far, but the shards are right on the spot in front of Zanky with the Waning Rift that hits both Palos as well as the Nyx Assassin. Shards constantly coming through as well as the Snowball. A lot of lockdown coming out from Neon as finally the Spike Carapace. Zanky not really doing anything. He's trying to stand there. He's in the Vendetta. Finally gets the kill on a Yobaj, but they lose Palos again. These heroes have bought back, and they're not going to be back for a long time. And in this time now, since they don't have the Spirit Breaker, he's morphing into the Tusk. They've got the double shards. That locks in Zenki. He goes the other way. They'll try to TP out Natsumi, but the duel is in on the Zenki. There's another kill. 4 heroes gone on the side of Vice. That ends up being a 2 for 8, and GG is called. Neon will take game 1 with ease. Full team wipe before it's over? Yeah, sure.
There's a buyback on Dragonite. 1 last remaining, but what is there really to say? Vice, they got outplayed a little bit. They took the a little bit is an understatement. They took the fights that they really shouldn't be taking.
Right.
You can see that they're skilled. There is potential in this team, definitely. But you have to organize the way you play team fights and make Neon fight on your own terms. Not every time Neon wants to rush with Charge and Snowball.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where it felt like just Vice were playing right into Neon's hands. Neon's really controlled the tempo. They did everything that they needed to do to win that first game, and they do it pretty easily. So, you know, to break it down a little bit more than that, though, we've got ourselves a panel. Throw it over to you guys. Let's hear what you got to say.
Indeed, we shall break it down. Yeah, I mean, Neon, they won the game as expected. It went no more or less as we thought it would. Guys, any surprises this game? I mean, it was pretty close for the first kind of half of the match.
Yeah,
and
first 7-8 minutes, game was pretty close, I have to say. You know, Vice, they were making some decent rotations, a bit of questionable plays from both of the teams. We had like 8 to 9 heroes in the mid lane, around 10-minute mark, something that we usually don't see. But yeah, Neon just got more out of that.
yeah, usually we have 8 or 9 heroes in the middle of the game at the 0-minute mark in SEA, so, you know, a bit late for these teams.
Good point, Nomad. Especially if there's Keeper of the Light.
Especially.
Always gotta fight into that little one.
You gotta go. You gotta run on the Keeper Light with 5 heroes. I mean, if you're not, then what is you doing?
And you have to make sure you don't focus him too.
Of course. Yes, let him get those eliminates off. So, what allowed this puck to kick off this game? Because we didn't really expect to have much of a game impact, but he was slapping.
Yeah, I mean, Bob got outplayed. There's not much else to say. Puck is not supposed to have a CS advantage against the Dragon Knight, but he did. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, higher skill. He outplayed him, and then the rotations came in. And yeah, I mean, as we said, the early game looked pretty decent for Vice. They played well around the Dragon Knight, but after those tier 1 towers are down, you know, Dota becomes a lot harder. and they just run at them.
I
we've
thought
seen
the
just now.
Phantom Lancer could potentially be a bit more brave in a team fight. You know, they're left like 2 versus 2. Phantom Lancer full HP, full mana, decides to go back. I thought he's gonna go in because like once coil is used, once duel is used, you can actually just clean them up.
Yeah. He was full health. He just ran away rather than running in.
Maybe he doesn't just feel comfortable playing the hero. Like, it's a big difference when you know the limits of the hero. Let's say, like, for the people at home watching us, you know, you have that 1, 2, 5, 10 heroes that you feel very comfortable. You know that you're going to give 100%. And then there's, like, Arc Warden that if you play the hero, you know, you're going to probably play 40% of the hero, actually. So
There is a way you can be comfortable on every single hero in Dota, though. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah, sure. Give me the secret. How's that doable?
The secret is to get a secret lab chair, and then it doesn't matter what hero you're playing, you're going to be comfortable when you're playing this game, because those secret lab chairs, they are made with premium fabrics and premium leathers as well, and they're very, very comfortable, so you're always going to be comfortable whatever hero you're playing. So get yourself a secret lab chair if you're in the market for a new sitting device.
Yep. Read lots of Reddit threads about new gaming chairs. Secret Lab definitely on top of the order.
If you want to be a good gamer, you know, you have to have good equipment, right?
Yeah. And most of it is the gaming chair, like 99%.
We were going to get the chairs in here, but we tried it and we just slid around all over the place and ended up breaking a bunch of cameras, so they told us we were not allowed them, which
Well,
is
it's
sad.
mostly Lizard's fault, but
It is.
that's why he's not here anymore.
Yeah, he's banished from the panel from now onwards because he broke too many cameras on that chair, unfortunately. But anyway, back to the
They're
game.
both on my head. Look at that. You see that shot? I'm like the Secret Lab king. See right there. Hey,
The king of the chairs.
how's it going?
King
with
of the
cost?
Titan and the Omega.
All good,
Anyway,
my
How's it going,
king.
Step chair.
Who would your MVP for this game be?
I'd go with Yopaj. Once again, I just feel like the mid laner is insanely talented. Like, you can see that he understands where the limits are, gets the most out of the hero. Just, I think Southeast Asia has a lot of potential.
Well, why is Puck sweating? Sorry.
Oh yeah, he really is, isn't he? Oh, he's just done a really good game, you know. Are you not sweating after a really powerful workout, Black?
I am.
Yeah, and this Puck just bench press the entirety of Vice
Press the
Esports.
Dragon Knight. Yeah. Sorry. Continue your.
No, I don't have anything to say. I was just looking at the sweat coming out from Puck.
You distracted him with your sweaty Puck.
I'm sorry.
Happens
yeah.
a lot.
You know, standout player. Always has been for the team. Steps up when he has to.
Yep.
Doesn't really have an off game. Not really, at least, I think.
By far one of the most consistent. Like, he doesn't have the same kind of explosive potential as some of the other players, but at the same time, you know, he has
Stability.
really consistent performances, like consistently
That's
good.
what matters. Like,
yeah,
in the
it
pro
is.
scene, like, you need to be consistent. That's pretty much all that matters. Like, if you have, like, if you're losing a lane as a Dragon Knight, let's say what the Bob did in the previous game, like, this is inconsistency, something that should not be done. And like, playing Black you as like a mid player, you probably should not supposed to lose it like 9 out of 10 times. Like,
no way,
if sometimes, you know, it's even, there's a gank coming up from position 4, then it's fine. Your position 4 doesn't get the rotation. There's a RNG rune that spawned, then it's fine. But most of the time, you know, just being consistent throughout the laning stage, transition into the mid game, going for the right items is just something that as a Dota player you need to have.
Yeah. Generally, a player, you know, with a low and high is not as wanted as someone who's just stable all the way. You know?
You want to be that supportive central pillar to your team, and that's exactly what Yopaj was this game, and that's exactly what Neon needed to take this first game versus Vice Esports. Can they take game number 2? Probably, but we're going to find out after this break nonetheless.
wanna change your range.
Good day and welcome back to the DPC. We're here in the Southeast Asia region to get into the second game of Neon Esports versus Vice Esports. As the top and the bottom are battling it out in a very crucial game. If Neon take the win, then they're almost guaranteed top 2 in the league. Wowzers. Unfortunately, if Vice lose, then they're almost guaranteed bottom 2. I think they're 100% guaranteed bottom 2 in the region, which is yowzers. So hopefully Vice can turn things around, but it's not looking too likely right now after game 1 when we thought they had a pretty good draft, but they couldn't execute. There were some issues, and then they died.
Yeah, that's well said, Nomad.
Thank you. I used my
it's
words
just,
good.
you know, seeing Neon play throughout a couple of weeks, they seem like a much better team. Vice Esports, they had their ups and downs, mostly downs, but there is still potential in the team. In terms of drafting, they're also very inconsistent. Like the last draft, I don't find anything too bad with the draft. I don't find too many errors. It's just about the execution. But if you look at some of their previous games, it's like, what are you guys doing? Like their last series was against, who did they play yesterday? Remind me. My brain doesn't work properly.
Was it Fnatic?
Let me just check real
I
quick.
think
It was Fnatic or TNC. I was good at
It was
TNC.
Fnatic, yeah. So, like, if you watch those games, it's like you're asking yourself, what are they doing with this kind of a draft? You know, because it doesn't look really strong.
Which
at all.
again goes back to inconsistency, right?
Exactly.
Like everything in Dota is just all about consistency, whether it's strategy or gameplay. The most consistent teams are the ones that have a consistent draft and playstyle, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like baking a cake. You know, you need a good consistency batter, and then you also need to have all your ingredients, you know, your push, aka the eggs. You need some good stuns, aka the flour. And then after all, it all needs to come together, which is the mixing part, you know.
Yeah, and then you bake it, which is the team fight execution.
Yep.
And then you eat it, which is, you know,
The
getting
work-
to a major.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then they all want to eat their cake. And Neon, they're very close to eating their cake. Their cake is nearly done. They're in the final few minutes. They just need to not take it out the oven and drop it on the floor whilst doing so, and they'll be fine.
And then you can bake your cake and have it too, or whatever they say. What's the saying?
Have your cake and eat it.
Yeah. But what's the one? You can't have your cake and eat it or something, right? It's the...
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. It says you can't have your cake, or you can't
I don't remember quite.
have your cake and eat it. I think that's right. I never really fully understand that saying, have your cake and eat it. Does it
Yeah,
mean like...
me neither.
Because if you eat the cake, it's gone, then you won't have the cake anymore?
Yeah, well,
But that's...
you're
what does it
older than
mean,
me. Like,
Dominic?
what does that mean?
You're the
Dominic?
wise
I'm the
one.
expert. I'm really not an expert in making cakes, that's for sure. But we're expert in Dota.
Okay.
At least trying to be. So yeah,
So
let's
get back to that.
let's get back to Dota. And
Good
I'm
idea.
also, you know what I'm expert at? I'm very good at reviewing cases, the Overwatch cases in
Oh, yeah.
Dota.
You found anyone suspicious yet?
No, like I've had
Oh, really?
3 cases that were like,
Only
what's going
3?
on? Why are we even reporting these people? Like one of the cases, my LC is reported for feeding. Dude gets a blink dagger, deep is mid, goes in. Rest of the team doesn't follow. They just go back for some reason and they report him.
Yeah.
Like people
Wow,
will
right.
report for some really weird stuff.
My
Like
favorite-
I would love to have like counter report where I
Yeah, where
I
you
check
report
the
the person being
replay. I check
reported,
like
yeah.
it's not LC's fault. Let's go with
Well-
his teammates instead.
They said in the blog post that if someone has found to be reporting people and every single time they report it, it's being found as not guilty, then they get their reports taken away, so they can't report people anymore.
Anyway,
Just, you know.
everyone only has 7 reports. If the person that you reported is found not guilty, you don't get the report back.
Yeah. My favorite Overwatch case was when I had a Legion commander, again,
Why
a
is it
Legion.
always LC?
Ah,
Yeah.
toxic hero, I guess. But she was dueling this Clinks and killing him over and over again, and the Clinks was reporting him every time she killed him. It was hilarious. I just get to watch this Clinks get absolutely
People are just
killed.
abusing the system. But as Slacks tweeted, I think yesterday, like he just doesn't watch the cases. He instantly reports. He says, you know, they're grieving, they're guilty, because everyone's guilty of something.
What's he
That's a
guilty
very
of?
pessimistic view on life.
What is he guilty of then?
Playing techies
Yeah, dude, like-
24/7, probably. So yeah, let's check this one out.
We
Neon,
have openings.
Nyx, and Pangolier. Like these two heroes have been really popular to Southeast Asia region. Panga most of the time played as a 4, but sometimes we see it as a position 3 as well.
Playhard loves this hero.
Yeah, Rubik and Mars on the other side. Some really good spells to steal from Rubik this game. Rubik players love to play into Pangolier, into Nyx Assassin, the longer duration stuns. Pangolier, when you play into Rubik, you also want to get a point in a shield crash. Once Rubik gets level 6, so around 10-minute mark, you should have it, so that Rolling Thunder cannot be stolen.
Why did they pick Mars
Smart.
to Pangolier? It's like one of the worst matchups in the game. You literally just roll out of the arena and you can swashbuckle out of the arena. And
Just leave.
yeah. It doesn't seem good against Nyx either. I don't know. It's a weird pick.
Yeah.
You don't know the matchup. Troll is banned out. Mars doesn't like to play into range heroes, so we could potentially see something. What's happening with Drow, Black? Why is Drow not picked at all?
It's just pretty slow hero until you get 1 or 2 items. Very punishable because there's a lot of high mobility cores out there right now. There's Storm, there's PLs, these Morphlings. If they get on top of you, you just die. And of course, Mars is very popular too, which is like a hard counter to Drow Ranger with that Bulwark. I think it's a good hero though.
She's considered high risk though because you know, of coronavirus and everything. She's just staying at home, self-isolating, waiting for this all to blow over.
Yeah.
So we won't be seeing her for a little while still.
I would love to see her though. So many games where I thought Drow would be really good, and
It's never
Yeah.
picked.
yeah, and
No.
I mean sometimes it gets banned in the last 2.
Yeah, across the regions, I've seen the most like popular shards being picked on the heroes. Can you guess the first hero?
Shaker.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting. Did not get that one. What about the second one, Shadow Shaman?
Up there pretty highly.
Are there any shards which are really bad but people keep building anyway?
Can't think of many.
Scratching them noggins.
I think players understand like which shards are really good. Like you're not gonna get Clockwork Shard for
Jetpack?
no reason. Like
But
the
I play a lot of
jetpack.
unranked, and I do see a lot of jetpack.
Oh, there
because
he
people
is
are just
talking
like,
about
"Oh,
Clockwork."
hey, buddy, jetpack
What did you
into our
say?
game.
I'm jetpacking, bro.
Is there any situation where jetpack is useful?
Yeah, if you're 6 slotted, you have 10,000 gold. Pretty much you're
But you can't move
fully
anymore.
jacked.
Like the way you fly is so
It's
weird.
so weird.
It
yeah,
turns you into like
can't turn properly.
gliding. It's so
Yeah, it's
stupid.
weird.
Coddle coming out from Neon Esports. It's going to be the Debil Cottle, sign me up, or it could be Januel, but you know, they both play it.
Yeah, I like Neon's draft quite a bit better so far, at least.
They have like top tier picks. Pango, Keeper of the Light, Nyx Assassin. I'm not sure how you actually get Nyx and Coddle in the same team. It just feels so strong.
So much control. And of course, Nyx Cuddle, you know, super good global presence as well. Like Nyx finds someone, you just recall someone there.
Yeah.
Free kill.
And I love support duos which cover each other's weaknesses. You know, if one can't clear waves, the other one can. If one's not great at getting pickoffs or doesn't really have many stuns, the other one does. And definitely see that hand-holding going on here between these two supports, which it's nice. It's nice to see.
Yeah. Again, I feel Mars and Clock both are just kind of like random picks. They just pick it for no real purpose.
So what's that? Clockwork 5 most likely, Rubik 4.
Should be.
They're,
And they're running out of time already.
they're playing into Pangolier, so Clockwork doesn't care too much about that.
Legion Commander.
Wait,
Same
what?
time,
It's
they
another
have-
random
whoa.
pick.
They have Mars and Legion Commander?
Maybe they do Legion 5 again and Rubik mid.
I think the more likely scenario is Mars mid and Legion offlane, but
And we go back to inconsistency. Like, why is this team overcomplicating stuff? Like, there's really no reason to like do stuff like that. Previous draft, I said they had a really good draft. It's just the execution, and now they feel like they need to change something drastically. But
They're also running out of
Counterpoint.
time though. Like they're probably in their own heads like, what are we doing wrong?
I mean, it could be the mentality that last game they were like, oh yeah, you know, we love this draft. We feel like this is a really strong draft, and it didn't work. And so this game they're just like, hey, you know what? Let's go off the rails a bit. Let's pick something different that we're comfortable with still, and try and catch Neon off guard. But wow, what?
This is like those ranked games where you know this game is just over.
you're
To be
playing
fair-
against a 5-man stack in an unranked against people who solo queue.
And you pick like a Dusa.
Isn't Mars okay versus Dusa though?
No.
No,
You know, in theory,
the arena stops a split shot.
sure, but you know, looking at the whole draft, this Medusa shouldn't really struggle. They don't have damage.
They have
Like,
no
this
damage,
Medusa is
nothing.
not gonna die.
Yeah. And Stone Gaze counters pretty much the entire lineup too. Yoo-hoo-hoo. It's gonna be
But
rough.
Legion Commander has infinite scaling damage.
That's correct. So
So-
they need either Silencer or Pudge.
Yeah.
Which one's better?
Pudge.
Silencer against Medusa for sure.
Or because you steal the int?
Yes.
Yeah, every hit.
Infinite scaling lineups. You have Slark, Legion Commander, Pudge. What am I missing? There should be one more hero.
You
Surely.
didn't say silencer.
Silencer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's 4. We need a whole lineup.
Silencer, Pudge, Slark,
Legion.
Legion, and
A lion.
Lion.
There we go.
There you go. He knew it. He knew
How
it.
could I forget that
With
one?
the Lion spammer. Neon Esports, they're going to finish things off with the gyrocopter. Okay. Well, that's pretty wild.
That's a
Medusa
mid-gyro then
and the
again.
gyro.
Yeah, it's a mid gyro, carry Dusa, offlane Pango.
Ah, I see, I see,
And
I
it's
see.
a mid Mars, so they will.
Gyro is
Gyro
pretty good
should be
against Mars.
really okay against the Mars, yeah.
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 And yeah, I mean, where's the damage coming from? Neon has a ton of team fight, a ton of damage, a lot of synergy. The other side is no synergy, no damage, and not that much team fight.
Not even 5 heroes, so it's gonna be hard for them to play 4 versus 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
They
last
still
pick
need
is
to
gonna,
get a
it's
hero.
going to make everything fall into place.
What do
Vice,
they
I'm
need?
telling you. This is
Tinker. Let's go.
ready. Anti-mage. Wow. Yeah, you guys are stunned. They've done it, haven't they? Vice Esports, they've turned the whole draft around with this final pick anti-mage. Guy, do I need your predictions? You're both going Vice, yeah?
Black, you as an anti-mage expert, would you like to play into this kind of matchup?
Not at all. Also, this Dusa aim,
Matchup, it's
the
really...
people have a very bad impression of it. Like, AM does not hard counter Dusa. If she has Stone Gaze on and you jump on her, you're dead. You need to find her all isolated by herself or with cooldown on ult or whatever. Then you can kill her, but it's never going to happen. Like,
Something that AM doesn't like to play is a mischance coming out from Blinding Light, Disarm, Pangolier, Break Mechanic, Mana Burn from Nyx Assassin. So, it doesn't seem that good of an anti-mage game. And they have
that's
I'm not going to say an
crazy.
easy setup, but Nyx Assassin just ruins most of these type of heroes that wants to be on a different part of the map and just free farm, try to split push. So, yeah, I'll go with Neon. This Medusa against AM is really not bad for Medusa. She hits the timing. She gets 2.5, 3 items. Possibly you can end the game with the first Roche if you man up and decide to go with the Rapier. But yeah, just feels rough. But
Vice can win. If AM has an easy lane against Pango, it's not a hard lane at all. He can snowball, he can get really fat and get ahead of the Dusa and then maybe do some magic, Because Gyro is pretty terrible against AM. There's a chance.
Okay, there's a chance.
There's a chance.
There is a chance. I mean, production already know. I'm going Neon. I was just trying to make up some nonsense to give Vice a chance, but I don't think their chance is so very, very slim. Talking about very, very slim, let's bring in our customers who are not very, very slim. They're in
Beacon
fact
is slim.
quite swole.
Beacop is slim.
He's
He's
on the
getting
road
there.
to
He's getting
swole.
there. He's
I'm
getting
on the road.
He's
I'm on the
getting
right
there.
path. I got 2 good teachers.
Yeah, he's getting there.
All right, guys, we are into the game, so very quickly, give me your predictions for game number 2.
I don't think this anti-mage is going to be very swole this game.
Uh-oh.
Going with Neon as well.
Uh-oh. Beak up.
Read my palm. It said Neon. Simple as that.
Simple
Let's get it
as that. Alrighty, let's get into game number 2 of Neon Esports versus Vice Esports. Take it away, Beak up and Lizard.
Thank you very much, Nomad. Yeah, here game 2. Vice, it looked really hard for them game 1. We'll see if they can put the tools together that they need for game number 2 here, but this is the moment that Neon have kind of been waiting for, an opportunity to
Solidify.
something in the
themselves,
top
yeah.
3.
So Black said this anti-mage will need to do some magic to
That's
win the
not
game.
war friendly.
That's not how it works. Anti-mage.
Yeah.
Mage, he's anti that magic.
This is an English lesson now. Anti.
Coming from
against.
a Slav that hardly forms his sentences. Like,
Anti-magic, not doing magic. He can't do magic.
okay, but like Black did say, he shouldn't struggle way too hard in the lane. Even though play hard, if he goes for that Orb of Corrosion early on, he can be problematic.
Right.
This lane overall shouldn't be too difficult for Palace, but we'll see. Clock and AM, that doesn't sound too crazy as well. Too strong as well.
We'll say it's not going to be that 5-on-5 0-minute medallion coming out for Debil this time around, unfortunately. We all loved that moment. But we have not seen it get replicated yet.
Well, he's trying to. Look at his item build.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted it to happen.
They're actually trying to pressure AM as hard as possible when you look at these items. You have the Venom on play hard, the Blightstone on the Kotl. You don't do this unless you really want to crush the lane.
Right. So you're looking at the Orb of Corrosion medallion combo and just trying to like
pretty
run
much.
at this anti.
You don't really have to finalize the medallion on Kotl. It's literally just this Blightstone minus armor in the laning stage plus Swashbuckle.
Right.
It's not easy to deal with.
Yeah, one of the things I'm kind of interested in, I really love doing this, is when one team plays a hero and then the next game the other team plays it. So I'm looking at Januel on the Nyx Assassin because we saw good movements from Zenki. As much as he could do for a team that was behind that by that much, I thought his movements and his play was really good.
Yep.
So now, what I love doing in my mind, and I don't know if you guys at home do this at all either, but you take a look at that and then you compare it. You look at Januel, how he's going to move around the map, how his play style is, and it's something I'm always interested in when it's games back-to-back like this.
It can be a little bit misleading too, because they're obviously played by different players in different teams.
Yeah.
Right. And if you play it on position 4, and then someone else picks it up in your same team, then you can kind of see the differences in how the players individually think.
Right.
But if your team is doing mistakes, you're kind of forced into bad movements as a support. So it can be misleading, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It's also interesting when you get to do it like interregionally.
Yep.
Like you see how different regions kind of play their supports, or maybe the different styles in play. It's always very fun.
So far, I've been very satisfied with what I've seen from Vice as well. Like in that last game, supports were on point, rotating towards the runes.
Yeah.
Puck never could refill his bottle. They really made his life hard, even though he did well versus the DK mid. And right now, speaking of the Puck from the last game, Jopai, he's 9-3. He's not extremely ahead. So Bob this time around. Man, Mars is such a Bob hero.
Why is that?
I don't know. I just can imagine Mars being a Bob.
His name is Bob.
Yeah, that's just his name.
Okay. I'll agree with that. Interesting blink from Palace. I want to see the rune control again. Like, I want to see if they're able to keep Jopai from getting any sort of, like, chance on these runes this second game. Like you said, the support's movements were really good, made his life really difficult considering the fact that even then, despite the fact that they were controlling the runes, I don't think he got a rune pre-10 minutes.
He didn't. They were controlling it constantly. Maybe he got one, but
maybe the 10-minute mark or the 8-minute, but like up to that, it felt like it was a lot of control from Vice. I want to see if they're able to pull that off again.
So what happened on top lane as well is they allowed Dire to pull. They allowed Vice to actually pull the hard camp.
Right.
But this is fine for them because they're caught the Pango. They just get so much out of it.
Yeah.
Look at Pango actually. When you look at CS, he's on 23. He's on top of the net worth right now. He's just banging. He's loving his life on top lane.
Yeah, very happy with what he's been able to accomplish thus far. And you see this pull, he'll clean it up. Meanwhile, Natsumi bottom. Last game too, he was eating a lot of pressure, but now trying to turn potentially on Onryu, who's getting a bit in the face of Natsumi.
It's not the easiest lane you're playing versus level 2 Fade Bolt, which is different now. It's like percentage based, right? But it still makes your life harder. You're playing into an LC. That LC obviously can deny so easily, and rotations to the runes. This time around, not as good coming from Vice.
Yeah. We've already got that first rune. It was a regen rune that he did
So
bottle up. Yeah, that feels really good when it's that first rune.
We haven't seen way too many gyros mid. Maybe 1 or 2 games across all regions.
There's the Spear and the God's Rebuke. Whoa, Bob. Playing aggressive, and it fits the style to just come in and kill off Jopai.
It's Mars on Bob. It's destined. I'm telling you, it's destined. This guy should just be playing Mars mid. Yeah, Gyro had that region. He also had a salve. He was feeling a little bit too confident that he won't get gone on. Mars just realized, if I spear this, it's a kill, and he does it. Really well played by Bob.
It's the kind of things that you can't really be too content with, sitting that low like that. Knowing that Bob is a player that's going to play aggressive. If you're going to give him an opportunity, he's going to take it hit or miss. Illuminate comes in. Zanky now without mana. Play hard getting low with the battery assault ringing. One shot from dead.
I can't imagine a person named Bob being too aggressive.
Bob sounds like a desk job guy.
He's just a Bob, yeah.
That's Bob. He runs a fantasy league for the office. You know, if you want to join, give him $5. It's cool.
One big thing for Bob this game is he already got his 6.
Yeah.
And I would like to see this arena used mid.
Yeah, just get some pressure out.
They could kill him even if they pop that arena right.
You would need to have some sort of rotation to save Yopaj.
Yeah, there you go.
There's the arena. Spear. It connects. Rocket Barrage coming in. Yopaj trying to survive, but Zanky's here with Cogs as well as the battery assault. Fairy fired. Is it enough? Not looking likely. Pushed by the Cogs and eventually dies.
This is it.
Swashbuckle return. Maybe a trade. Spear onto the low ground. Nicely done. Here comes the Nyx Assassin. Bob dealing with a lot. Ooh, sidesteps the stun. And now they kill Play Hard. Bob's leading the fantasy league right now.
Where was this before, Bob?
Yeah. And now
Where was this?
Well, he gets caught as well. Spear comes in. Bob with another one. They get all 3 kills over mid.
Bob doing Bob things. If you give him Mars, this guy shines.
Yeah.
It's the perfect combo.
Is under attack.
Yeah.
Really, that was very well played by them. Even though Clockwork was a little bit late to catch the gyro, I worried he would be able to survive. He got there. He has his boots. He got there. He used the Cogs and battery assault. Really, really well done. And now he's on the bottom lane as well.
These movements from Zanky both games, despite the fact that they lost game 1, have been
And they
really
might get Matsumi here.
He's got to be able to try and help, but there's the telekinesis back into the Cogs, and Simeon gets the kill with the Fate Bolt.
This is SEA right here.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, it doesn't matter. The top tier team of the league versus the bottom lowest tier team. Doesn't matter. If you play your cards right, you can always outskill the enemy.
Bob's a guy who likes to play cards.
Yeah, but his wife doesn't actually let him. So he plays cards, but he gets to do it like once or twice a month. You know, in the basement of his friends. And he probably tells the wife that he's just going to watch a game.
He's there playing cards. But winning. Trusty Shovel picked up there for the Pangolier. Digs up a salve. Anti-Mage working on that Battle Fury. The panel said if Anti-Mage has a good lane, things could get a little bit dangerous for Neon. And right now, I mean, you look at the net worths, lanes are going well. All 3 lanes are going well. Bob? Okay.
All 3 lanes are going well, and why? Because of mid. That's literally it, because your mid lane wins so hard that everyone has to rotate there. And then the outer lanes are free.
Cogs. Stun short and the call down. Okay.
I love how much they set up around that rune, and it's actually just top.
Yeah, it's top. It's an invis for play hard. Telekinesis. Bob's here. He's got the arena. He'll hit the spear,
another one.
And he'll get the kill.
And it's a trickle-down effect. Because Anti-Mage right now is farming top lane, right? He's left alone. And this Pango, instead of staying top and dominating and pressuring, he's with his Orb of Corrosion, right? And Kotl with the Blightstone, he's forced to rotate twice now towards the mid lane.
Yeah.
And both times he died, which left him minute 8:30, minute 8:40. He's still level 5. He doesn't even have Rolling Thunder.
It's really not going that well for play hard compared to the last game, especially.
This time around, we actually have to see if Neon are able to make a comeback. They definitely do have the heroes for that, but it won't be easy versus Vice if Vice continues pressuring them.
These are the mistakes that we thought maybe Vice would be able to counter in the first game. They just they didn't execute well enough. Now, Neon are making mistakes, and, well, Vice are taking advantage of them. Palace is coming bottom. He wanted to join that fight. It didn't exactly last long enough. Samuel ends up dead. They've got the duel. They should have the damage, and they will. Duel victory.
They got the duel victory, but instant smoke. So they might catch someone else if anyone tries to defend this bottom tier 1. Or just rotate mid lane. Arena is up in 8 seconds.
Could be an opportunity to go on Yopaj again.
You can see that Yopaj is aware of it, though. He's running towards the triangle. So this is good movement from him. And Natsumi as well. These 2 big cores, they're just hiding. It's not a great position to be in, but at least you're reading the moves.
Yeah, not allowing yourself to fall behind even further.
Yep.
Just by reading those moves.
This is where Neon's discipline has to be really demonstrate it. They need to sit on the triangle, they need to sit on their high ground, and they need to force these errors from Vice. They can't really make moves on their own anymore.
Ooh. I'm looking for a long-range spear, doesn't land, and homing missiles coming in, as well as the call down. You got two supports here ready to help. That homing missile will run and land onto Bob. But again, this is all while Palos is taking the bottom tier 1.
He's taking bottom tier 1 with the help of Legion Commander, but Natsumi is farming the triangle.
Right.
And now, well, let's see if Weiss will feel pressured to go into the triangle. They're scouting it out with rockets constantly. But can they invade? I don't think they can.
Got the Vendetta. Oh, two-man stun? Yeah, it's going to land. Homing missile coming in. They're looking over. They've got the break onto Zenki. They'll get themselves the kill, as well as the Rocket Barrage coming in onto Onryu. One more shot is all it takes, and it's a shield crash from Playhard to lock down the double kill. And now the Rolling Thunder steals the Swashbuckler. He'll roll in. Homing missiles coming through, and all of a sudden, Playhard, he's got a triple. Going even further for Bob. All right, Swashbuckle misses, but they're still thinking about it. They've got Yopaj rolling around the back. Homing missile coming in again. Bob, he needs to run. He needs to try and get out here, but the arena, now the cogs under the tier 1 tower.
Nice light.
Illuminate hits onto both these heroes. Zenki and Bob need to be a little bit sure about what they want here as homing missile comes in, ends Zenki's life with the Rocket Barrage getting fully hit onto the Clockwork. Overwhelming odds doesn't finish off Yopaj. Now they've got the Swashbuckle. That
Come on,
comes
spear
through,
him.
slows up the Mars. Bob trying to find a way to get a spear, maybe get a kill on this one as he's starting to catch up. The spear lands, but it doesn't connect, and now he's in a bad position. Homing missile coming the other way, but with Yopaj low, he really doesn't want to move up the mark, as they'll use that ult on the Jean-Noel and get the kill onto the Nyx Assassin. Swashbuckle shield crash coming in hard is Playhard, and now he's got that mana help from Debil, but they've got the duel out onto the Kato. They get the kill on a Playhard as well as Debil. They'll take
Rocket.
out 2. Now Call Down comes in, as well as Yopaj now running as Onryu is on the way. Double damage picked up by the Gyrocopter, and this is where it finally settles down a little bit. The entire time, though, Natsumi is farming.
Yeah, sloppy plays from both teams in that last fight, but Vice definitely coming out on top. By the way, minute 11, Anti-Mage has a Battle Fury completed.
Yeah.
Although that whole team fight was extremely sloppy, scrappy. You saw Gyro diving really deep, getting cogged in. The blinding light was good. Then the spear didn't come on time from Bob. Like, you can analyze that, but the big strategical importance in this game is Anti-Mage with the Battle Fury and Medusa just free farming. Medusa has that Yasha, by the way.
So you see Bob actually tips Yopaj, and well, Yopaj then gets killed into Zenki. Bob chasing, running, trying, overwhelming odds, not going to be enough. Ooh, Palos getting caught live cam, and with a Swashbuckle in the Rocket Barrage, Playhard. They get the kill into Palos. That'll slow down that Anti-Mage a little bit, and giving the opportunity now for Natsumi to spread his net worth advantage up a little bit. Swashbuckle comes in as well as the homing missile. But we've got 3 heroes in.
A really good
Mana
steal,
burn.
by the way. Samael has Mana Burn. In this game, it's really good versus the Medusa.
Right.
Like, you can use it on other heroes, obviously, but versus Medusa is the best. You just get rid of that mana. Why did they move like they moved? Neon really showing moments of brilliance there, as they noticed that AM has that Battle Fury completed. The moment he has the Battle Fury completed, you know he's going to be farming those stacks on Ancients.
Yeah.
So you just go there.
It's again going back to the point that you said earlier. Neon are reading the map really well. They avoided those ganks. Now they're able to read the map, know where the Anti-Mage is going to be. On top of that, now they've got a Blink Dagger on the Pango, an item I love on this hero when you're just trying to disrupt fights. Come in, Rolling Thunder, Blink on top, and I mean, that could be the difference maker on getting a kill on a Palacer.
It's that Blink into Yule's build that we see very often into Shard on Pango. It will do wonders, or it should do wonders. Why did he get this Blink? Because Kotl was recalling him in every single fight, allowing him to get those last
There it
hits.
is, Rolling Thunder with the Blink Dagger. That's the debut of it. Samael, though, trying to get under the tier 1. They'll miss the hook shot. Now Rolling Thunder hits on a 2. Press the attack's going to be used onto the Rubik. They're trying to run, thinking about going after a duel, but here's the Stone Gaze from Natsumi inside the arena. Oh, turns to stone. Bob is stone. He's a statue. And now they put him in the grave.
That's very mythology-friendly, I guess. Medusa making Mars turn to stone. Perhaps not the same regions, but you get my point.
I think one's Greek mythology.
Yeah,
the other
one's
Roman.
Roman. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. They all kind of, you know.
Mixed together at some point. Wouldn't mind Hercules being a hero in Dota. get Medusa's head, throw it at people, turn them into stone. Like that would be a new, like that's a neutral item. I feel like is in Ice Frog's mind. Medusa's head, where you just get like a quick 1 second turn to stone, tier 3, tier 4 item.
Or it could be some sort of taunt or something if you kill a Medusa.
Yeah.
A hero that just takes their head. I think that would be a little bit too much, but
It's a bit
you never
over
know.
the top.
Just a tiny little
It's too much
bit.
for Bob, man.
Bob is friendly. He wouldn't be using that cosmetic.
So, Blink Dagger, soon BKB for Mars. So Bob going into the BKB after the phase boots. Ooh, they're coming up onto Bob. Play hard on the run. Spear does connect. They might be looking for a dual overwhelming odds, but a lot of damage onto the Legion Commander. The hook shot comes through. Johnny ends up dead, and Hanryu, he'll fall. As Bob, he's gone too.
Okay, some mistakes here. The Pango did get picked off at least, which is nice. Anti-Mage jumps on Kotal, hits him twice. Oh, there you go, they killed the clock.
Yeah, Yopaj getting the kill on a Zanki.
So,
Now dominating with that double.
a little bit of comedy there. Palos jumping on Kotal, hitting him twice, and then trying to mana void a full mana
Stone
Kotal.
call down, but not going to help Samael survive. Also has a double damage, but not doing anything with that just yet. I thought John Newell had died in that last fight, but I misspoke. 2K lead now for Neon. Like, they're starting to really roll it back.
It's also the fact that Anti-Mage is... I don't mind this at all. He's trying to fight, but he's trying to fight when he really should be just farming. If Medusa is joining these fights, she's not farming, she's not using her time to farm those Ancients, the triangle. As Anti-Mage, you can split push. You have that Battle Fury. You have even a Blade of Electricity and PTD now. Like,
Right.
you could be splitting constantly. I guess he's a little bit afraid of Nyx too. It's not really that hard to set up on an AM if you find him.
So, Ranuel into the Vendetta. Play hard going, like you said, into that Yules. This
It's the
game is
most-
kind of taking a turn for the better after having a couple of mix-ups over mid. He's got himself 10 dual damage. He's happy with that.
It's a triple kill that got him back into the
Yeah.
game. He just got a triple kill out of nowhere.
Yeah, that really helped him come back and actually has put him ahead of the Mars, too.
Nyx, he is scouting them out really well.
Hook shot still comes through. That hits on the play hard. They might look for the duel. They do get it, but there's the double stun. Bob trying to help win this duel, but it's not going to happen just yet. The Swashbuckle comes through. It's going to disarm just the Legion Commander, but it does hit onto 2 of these heroes. Homie Missile now onto the Legion. Call down with them. Stone Gaze used. They're chasing, and they'll get that kill on Hanryu as well. Samael, they look over the clockwork as he's on the run, but eventually the Homie Missile catches up with him, and they'll get themselves a kill on a Zanki 3 for 1.
Every good move from Weiss gets punished because there's a Kotal on the map and he just recalls Natsumi to join the fights. Everyone else just TPs or already is there, but Kotal makes that real difference with the recall. I feel like Weiss should be perhaps smoking onto Natsumi, but Natsumi is already too fat to kill. This Medusa has SNY completed plus an ulti orb.
Yeah, he's getting
how do you
towards
even
the
kill
sky.
him? Yep. How do you even kill him if you get on top of him? You won't certainly do it in an arena and duel. Maybe if Anti-Mage is there, but you don't want to commit all 5 heroes.
Yeah, you want Anti-Mage to farm to feel comfortable fighting into that, and I just don't think he has the items to do that just yet.
Right now, definitely not mid.
Rolling Thunder, all right.
Has been
And a
stolen.
burn. Rolling Thunder has been stolen, but they're right on top of Bob. Now Rolling Thunder coming out from Samael. It's not that Arcana Q, but now they've got the dust on Jean-Noel. Debil, Illuminate, charged up. That comes in. They've got the duel. Nyx Assassin low, but he wins the duel anyway. Hanryu falls. Bob in trouble. Yopaj with him with that flak cannon hitting to multiple heroes. Kills Samael. I might get Bob, but he's able to blink away. Swashbuckle, ooh, just on the edge is still not enough.
He's chasing.
Blink forward, shield crash, arena, and the spear committed. Bob trying to leave. He's got a TP. Oh, gosh.
Wait, Bob had a kill there, I'm sure. If he wanted to trade, because if he goes for that, oh, there we
Hook
go.
shot
Zanki.
may not have needed a trade, but the stun comes in from the Nyx Assassin. Battery Assault used. Play hard. Now surviving. Yopaj to call down. They'll take out Zanki. Vice are still putting numbers up, and it's just hurting them as they continue to lose these heroes.
Yeah, because they're not decisive enough. Like Bob, if you catch that Pango, he's being hit by tier 2. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
If you move in, he had his spells off cooldown. If he uses God's Rebuke, Pango is dead.
Natsumi.
Oh, don't do that.
Duel. All right. We'll see if they
Maybe.
can get it. Pals comes in, but there's the Rolling Thunder. And now up into the air thanks to the Nyx Assassin. They stunned up Palos and they'll get the kill onto the anti-mage. They get way over aggressive. There are the tips.
I warned him, man, don't duel that. Like that's not the duel.
They need to listen to you more often.
Just look at this Medusa. He's now what 200 gold away from full Skadi SNY. That because of the SNY, it doesn't even last as long. 25% status resistance. You just don't kill her.
Natsumi is confident enough that he's already got queued up the Divine Rapier.
I don't mind him. I don't see the way that Weiss kills him any longer.
Yeah.
You needed to slow down the Medusa way earlier. And if you do go on Natsumi, everything you've got has to go into that Medusa, right? Every single spell. But then you have Kotal as well.
I mean, even with everything having to go on in Natsumi, it has to be Natsumi by himself. It can't be with the team there. Look at what they're able to accomplish to keep him alive. I mean,
Okay.
White makes it easy.
Let's go a step further. Even if he's alone and you drop everything onto this Medusa, I'm still not sure you kill him before he pops his ulti.
I'll give them the percentage. 90% they don't, 10% they do.
Oh, that's a very high percentage. I think I've heard that somewhere before. It didn't work out well, but
I'm confident this time. 9K lead, it's not all the time. But like you look at the graph, there was a lead there for Vice, and then bam, just Neon feel themselves.
they never had a big lead, right? Like a huge one, but they were in a driving spot, driving seat. They were making those rotations towards the mid lane. AM has a Manta completed, going straight into the BKB afterwards.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dusa working on this Divine Rapier, so.
Yeah. On one side, you're going to have a BKB.
The other side, you're just going to have a boatload of damage.
Yeah, and that BKB won't really help you that much. That Stone Gaze will still, affect you. It won't be that great. At least you won't be stunned multiple times, but there you go, he's stunned now.
Yeah, in trouble, call down, and now Palos blinks away. This is towards the team. Neon need to be prepared to fight on this.
Pango just wasn't there on time. Debil actually used recall on him, but Pango brings that extra control that they need to kill off the anti-mage. This is it. They're going Rapier. If you're going Rapier, what do you need?
Want the Aegis,
You want the
yes.
Aegis, exactly. So they go straight into the pit. Can Weiss really fight this? They can try.
It's going to be tough.
Look at the tier 1 on mid lane. This is something that I'm trying to explain to people as well. This tier 1, and now they smoke, but it's too late.
Did you get the spear, though, onto the Nyx Assassin? The Steel Spike Carapace. This might give him an opportunity to go in. Look at just what Johnny Well's able to accomplish. He's really delaying this aggression coming through, and he's still able to survive! How is he getting away with this?
It's the 4-staff from Yopaj. We didn't talk about
God.
Gyro's items at all.
Arena down, play hard though, he's fine. Stun onto this Mars, misses the spear. Actually goes past play hard and hits on a Natsumi. Now they're moving forward, blink forward from play hard, looking over at Bob, but, well, let's go back to Roche.
Yeah, just go back, stroll back into it. 2 of them are dead. They won't be fighting you any longer. So why is tier 1 so important? In the mid game, you want to be playing in the enemy jungle. The only way you can reach a Roche pit from the enemy jungle while smoked up is through that tier 1, right? You don't want to go the other way around. It just opens up the map. You can also smoke into the triangle if the tier 1 is dead. If it isn't, it kind of makes it very awkward.
Break and the chase. Homie Missile coming in a second. Blade Mail pop, but not going to matter. Hanryu dead to Yopaj, who is beyond godlike. 10, 2, and 10.
He died those 2 times in the laning stage, and that was it.
He almost had the Bob kill score line. 13-0-13. He was close.
13-0-13, yeah.
It's the most unlucky kill score line you can have. 13 unlucky number.
Yeah, but it's Bob's name as well.
Hey,
Is he
you
just
squish them
unlucky?
together. Bob might be the unluckiest name. I don't know. We'll have to ask. Used to be something that Mitch Hedberg talked about. But 10K lead for Neon right now. And of course, a Medusa that is really feeling it.
Yeah.
Already has the Sacred Relic, holding on to the Aegis. Just 1,000 gold away from a Demon Edge.
And what do you do as anti-mage with BKB in this next team fight? You will literally tickle her. That's it.
Yeah.
Tickle one of the snakes on her head.
Just a
that's
snake's
about it.
laugh. Medusa could definitely use an Arcana.
Radiant's top tower
Could be cool.
Dire
She has a lot of sets already.
Top
Pretty
lane,
good ones.
Anti-Mage caught, Rolling Thunder coming in. They've got the continual lockdown, but oh, hits again. He was trying to blink. Rocket Barrage just blinks, but the homing missile keeping up. Swashbuckle in, and now homing missile going the other direction. Okay. Also steal the Spike Carapace. They get the kill on Debiel.
Dire's
Is
bottom
that a
tower
complete?
is under attack.
No, not yet. 500 gold. Okay, 300 gold. Just Medusa
Stun
things.
misses. This whole time though, yeah, Natsumi.
Yeah, he has the
Closing
courier there already. It's just waiting on the side shop.
Might be mad at Yopaj for stealing some of that farm. Okay.
And this is it. This is the go time. Rapier completed in 3, 2. There we go. It's flying over. You have the Aegis still for how much time? For like 2 minutes?
Long time.
Minutes and 40 seconds. Yeah, you can just go and end the game. Or at least take one side.
25-minute treads SNY Scotty Divine Rapier.
It's a lot.
That is so much.
Is under attack.
And also you were playing in a game in which you were pressured in the lane. You died once, but you have the Kotal. I can't just say how much this matters to them. The Keeper of the Light, the Bill, just running across the map, recalling the Medusa whenever it's necessary. You can just... there, he does it again, I believe. Yep. You're farming the triangle, you farm the Ancient, suddenly you're on the bottom lane where you need to be.
Uh-oh, Clockwork spotted. Blinding Light, Zanky. It's fine.
Radiant
They have a
are
creep wave,
scanning.
so he's just trying to creep skip here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they need to clean up these creeps, go for the tower.
Dire's
They do have a
structures
glyph
are
to try and
fortified.
clean up the creeps themselves,
Counter
but the
glyph?
counter glyph comes in from Neon.
That's it. They're really playing the way they should be. Is mid lane? Okay, mid lane is also skipped.
Middle tower is under attack.
But they do have three creeps and a catapult, which is very important.
Just trying to keep it alive. Bottom lane though, Jean-Nuel. Look for the duel. They've got Anti-Mage here, Spike Carapace locking them up. It doesn't look like they'll get the duel damage. It just ends as they get the kill onto the Nyx Assassin. But while this is happening, Medusa's just going for the tier 3 tower bottom. They're going to buy back on the Nyx Assassin. They've got the homing missile to hit onto the Mars. Hookshot comes through as well as the call down. Bob in trouble, pops the Essence Ring. Now, though, Rocket Barrage with the damage.
Where'd he go?
They get the kill on a Zanky very quickly. Yeah, where did he go? He popped like a pinata.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
Natsumi is the real tower in their base. It's not about these tier 3, tier 4s. It's pretty much Natsumi just standing up front and hitting. And this one siege creep is what allows it. It's literally this one siege creep that survives, which allows them to be here.
Thunder being feinted for the moment. Creeps come in, trying to take out the siege creep. Blink Arena, all right. Spear comes in, hits on a play hard. Stone Gaze immediately with BKB being popped by Bob. Samuel on the high ground, thinking maybe he can get something out of this.
Double kill?
Good double kill with the overwhelming odds coming through from Onryu. But they do get one in return as Natsumi gets the kill. Palace trying to fight into this. As now homing missile goes after Bob.
I feel like my cast is just talking about the Bill or Scam. But killing him is so important because if anyone else dies, they can buy back and then you recall them.
Ooh, Mystic Snake almost enough. Backdoor is up for now.
They did not let the siege creep live. They needed to protect him more than their own allies.
Yeah.
Okay, the Aegis actually has been just reclaimed.
But it's well, it's still only a 10k lead. Anti-Mage is not neck and neck, but 18k is a
It's
good
not,
mark for
yeah,
Palace.
it's not horrible, and they're doing what Weiss is actually doing exactly what they need to be doing. That's creep, skip, and buy yourself time. But Palace
They're
might be
looking for
caught.
Palace, yeah, stun to start this off. Mana burn, Yopaj coming in, looking for the homing missile, blinks away. Now they're gonna stick with this. They've got the bullwhip. Jean-Nuel, he gets some speed, blink away again.
You
So
don't
now
catch this.
they just don't again.
He has a BKB, he has a Manta as well to use versus this Rocket, so
Counterspell, and now it's coming back the other way.
even better. Elven Tunic, not too bad at all. What does Natsumi have? Still Vambrace. And they find the Spider Legs, you can give it to Medusa later on, he can drop the boots, be full 6 slotted.
Yep. And that's a good way to get 50 gold, I just noticed. You throw a homing missile at the Anti-Mage, you reflex it back, then you kill the missile, get 50 gold.
That's such next level. Don't kill the Anti-Mage, but get 50 gold, man.
well, when you put it
You're
that way,
from
it
NA.
sounds
You're
really
from
stupid.
NA, aren't
Okay.
you?
If he gets away, 50 gold is still something.
That's some NA magic right here happening. Now I understand the region and how you guys think. And
I'm glad you're putting me up there with some pro players.
well, they have to come from somewhere. It's not like they're imported. They were playing there, right? Went through all the ranks.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. NA is
Elvin
great.
Tunic picked up for Natsumi. I won't pass on the message. It's okay.
Yeah, Butterfly very
Palos?
close.
That was a blink into the Radiant Triangle. That's a little bit risky. Rolling Thunder
Bob.
coming through on a Bob. Homing Missile's going to follow this up as well. They've got the BKB pop by Bob and trying to run with the Essence Ring. Now they've got the Arena down as well as the Spear Throne. That's going to hit onto the Pangolier. Play hard. He's fine for now. Hookshot comes all the way in. That's going to lock up two with the Cogs, but Zanky takes so much damage. Palos is in, trying to kill off this Medusa. Telekinesis, and now the damage onto the Legion Commander. Onryu's gone. Play hard drops.
Palos.
It's the Mana Void that gets the kill, but Palos is locked up. He's killed off, down for 95
buyback.
seconds, no buyback. And this is surely an opportunity for Neon to finish the game.
He jumped in. He did get one kill onto the Pango to play hard, but then he thought he's able to do more, which he really wasn't. He was also low on mana.
He's not going to have buyback throughout this entire thing. His gold's not close. He's nowhere near.
This is Megas right here.
At least.
At least Megas. And I don't think Natsumi is going to leave their base after. Has the Butterfly completed too, plus the Tunic as well on his side of the map, on his team that is. So.
Could play it safe, go back for Roche. It is the timing coming up close. They
You
don't have
could.
to, but they could. Especially when they're not seeing Anti-Mage buying back.
Yeah, they won't.
Look at that. Bob,
They could, but they won't.
he gets low, immediately drops. That's a quick kill there, and I mean, he's got buyback. The question is it really even enough to put up a defense? Hook shot,
Is under attack.
not doing anything of importance on this. No glyph. They're trying to buy some time.
Well, they have 30 seconds away from AM. Mars could buy back any second now. He has his ulti as well. You can pop that arena to prevent Natsumi from taking your throne.
Dire's middle tower.
And if you're wise, it feels bad, man. You know, like, you're in this league. You haven't won a series yet.
That's not true. They've won one series.
Is under attack.
Execration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won one. Versus Execration.
I think this is. I think China might be the only region where the bottom team is
Yeah,
zero.
LBZS and Magma are.
Well, Magma got one. And
Magma
now
versus
LBZS
LBZS,
is zero,
yeah. Yep, it's still sad for Vice because
Yeah.
they're on the bottom. It's, with this loss, and it's not getting any easier for them. These matchups are just
Really
looking
tough.
rough. Yeah.
It comes to a point where you need to maybe start changing your outlook and thinking of this as a growing experience, using every game you can to get some experience under your belt and make something happen with this. Call down comes through. They've got the arena down as well as the duel coming in, but the Legion Commander taking a lot of damage. They're getting the kill on Zenki as well as Onryu. Winner chicken dinner there for the side of Neon.
Run.
They're trying to run. They're trying to get back into the base, but it's not going to matter. GG is called. 3 heroes gone. Anti-Mage can't do anything. Make it a 4th. Double kill for Natsumi. 4 heroes without buyback. And, of course, the GG was called. So Neon will take the 2-0 over Vice, and both games making it look pretty simple.
Do
Pretty
we have
easy.
our first major confirmed team with
I-
Neon?
I-
I believe that is, right?
I don't want
That's it.
to overstep, but I think, yeah, they're at least top 3.
At
With
least
5
wild
wins,
cards,
I
right?
don't think they
Yep.
can drop below the top 3 mark, which is big for Neon, but you need to keep focus. You want to get that top spot. You want to jump into the playoffs, and you can't really let go. You got to keep the momentum going because they've got 2 hard opponents coming up.
It's all star match after star match
Yep.
from this point onwards.
Yeah.
All the big teams are matching up. It's like scripted. I'm not sure what happened there, how we have Fnatic T1 and whatnot all matching up against each other. But
Yeah, the last weeks are really going to...
they're going to be fun.
It's going to be a good one. To break it down for you is the panel. Throw it back over to you guys. Let's hear what you got.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that wasn't very nice for Vice, unfortunately. You know, they rolled the dice with this Mars pick, which did have us enticed, but, you know, at the end of the day, they paid the price. Guys, if you had any advice for Vice, what would it be? A slice of advice for Vice.
Advice for Vice?
I like that.
Stick together and work hard. Next season, you know. It's tough. Like, first time in a season 1 in such a highly competitive field, you know. Take it as a learning
you
experience.
can't just go in and talk to them right now because
Yeah, they're
everyone's
done.
pretty low at the moment, and like you need to wait tomorrow. You know, try
A
to
week.
get their spirits up. A week, you'd say? Yeah.
Maybe even like post-tournament, you know, because it already sank in, I think, for most players that they're probably going to be relegated down to Division 2. And,
There's still potential, like seeing these players play. They're not at the top level, that's for sure, but they could possibly be if they continue grinding. Like not everyone can go to the major. That's the thing. Like someone has to go out, someone has to go to the lower division for the next season. And
it's the reality.
yeah, it's the reality. It really is. But yeah, ton of potential coming up from these guys. A lot of the stuff can be fixed, of course, but I think as a team you need to think about it as a learning experience rather than, you know, like my career is over, like I don't want to play until the next season starts or whatever. You know, just stay positive, try to fix things, because they could be a big thing potentially.
Well, it's really a big difference. Like I know Neon, they have been grinding hard for a long, long time together as a team, and it's paying off now. You know, like
Yeah.
it could happen for Vice as well.
Sure,
If
like
they
you
stick
have
together.
teams to look up at and say, like, this could be us in 6 months.
Yeah, for sure. And Vice are a really young team as well, you know, just even age-wise to the scene and everything. You know, there's, you know, Samuel's like 27, but I think he's the oldest. Everyone else is pretty young, so a lot of potential in this team as well, and a lot of room to improve. But let's focus on Neon now, because, wow, this team continues to deliver, you know. Okay, we had some slightly rough early games. You know, Bob looked like he was going to kick off on this Mars, but Neon, you know, again, they pull it together. They keep that consistency. They don't get too worried about how things are going, you know. They just have these plans. They always stick to them, and it always seems to work out for these guys. And what another brilliant performance, you know. Vice actually did test them a bit here, I would say, more than we expected. Neon still come out tops, as always. And now they are confirmed top 2 in the region, which means they're either going to the upper bracket or they're going to the group stage. So
Confirmed
really
top 2?
fantastic, yeah.
Like there's no way they can be third anymore.
No.
Or
Someone did the math.
That-
Yes, yeah.
That's really good for them. So at least group stage confirmed. Maybe even playoffs if they can keep it up. You know, I think one more win would confirm them the playoffs.
Wow.
And yeah, that is
huge result for this team.
Yeah,
Congratulations to them. Yeah, it's
first
that's
big
massive.
tournament, and unbeaten so far.
Amazing.
Pretty ridiculous.
I mean, what was the key to their success throughout this tournament? I mean,
Stability.
stability.
Really, just all
That's what it
stability.
comes down to.
Yeah, like you know, even in Europe, you see this Team Secret, who is still considered the best in the region. You know, they mess up some early games sometimes, but what makes them so unbelievably strong is that they always know how to win the game from any position they put in. And it feels like the same with Neon. They struggle sometimes to close out games. You know, sometimes they have like a rough early mid game, but eventually they always make it happen because they're just a very, very stable team. Like they don't have a very apparent weakness.
Decision-making wise, everything's on point when they're playing from behind. You know, they drop a couple of games here and there, but nothing too serious. You can understand how good their just the game sense is about the timings. They're playing Medusa into anti-mage. They get the rapier on Medusa, and they just go out and close the game. They understand when the enemy team is weak, and we should be able to punish that. Do exactly the same thing. Not too many mistakes. Some from the laning stage, some from Gyro early on, but he still, you know, finishes godlike in the end. So overall, Neon looking very crisp.
Very, very crispy Dota. That's what we like to see. And our MVP for this game is going to be Januel on his Nyx Assassin.
Januel.
You know, not incredible, but a lot of assists. But, I mean, you know, you could tell from watching the game where his strengths lie. He was finding these opportunities, he was scouting, and he was getting some very cheeky kills in a lot of these team fights as well, just sneaking around the back, grabbing 1 or 2, and going home with the goods. It's good stuff.
I mean, Pos 5 Nyx is pretty much just an information bot. You run in Invis, you kind of feel out where the enemy is, find good avenues for your team to fight, and he did that. They got good team fights on the back of it.
Think about position
Job
5
well
next
done.
assassin is try to secure your safe lane farm, possibly get some stacks, don't lose the laning stage too hard, and then do what the Nyx assassin does the best.
Nyx around.
Yeah, just
Nyx around.
Just
Alrighty,
Nyx,
well,
Nyx.
we do have ourselves an interview with the Nyx Assassin player. Januel is on the line. Sir, can you hear us?
Yep.
Good stuff, good stuff. Well, firstly, huge
Hello.
congratulations to you guys. You've made it to the major now. Confirmed top 2. How does that feel for you?
Ooh, thank you. we feel great, but I don't think we're satisfied until we get the first spot.
Nice. I love that attitude. That's a real winning attitude. And is that consistent across, the entire team? Everyone is working hard to push for that first place?
Sorry.
Is everyone on the team sharing the same winning mindset right now?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Everyone is on the same goal, same boat.
Yeah. You can definitely feel that in your player. Lacoste, did you have a question for Januel?
Yeah, you have still 2 more series to play. Like, how are you going to prepare for those, and who do you think is going to be the toughest opponent?
I think the toughest opponent is the Fnatic, and we were just gonna be more prepared than them.
Sure.
That's our advantage, I think, for us.
Yeah. What were your expectations coming into this first DPC league? Like, did you expect to qualify for a major?
Actually, we didn't expect anything. We just don't want to lose the last 2 spots, so we don't get into the Division 2.
Okay.
That's all. And yeah.
Just took a game by game, series by series. I love that stuff.
Yeah, very, very
My
good.
boy Black has one question for you.
Do I? No, I'm gonna have to think a little bit.
Alrighty.
You go ahead first. I'll think of something smart.
Well, you're not going to play Vice again in this league, so if you had a piece of advice for that team, what would it be?
Piece of advice. I think I'm not sure if they're also playing their 100% since they're not playing together. So I think there's a bit more problem internally in them.
Interesting. Yeah, they've been unfortunately not playing to the standard we had hoped for. Is there any team in this league which has surprised you?
Not yet for now. Maybe Fnatic or T1. We're gonna expect the unexpected. Not sure.
Okay, which other player in the league do you look up to in the SEA region?
Oh, I think Kuku. I wanna crush Kuku.
Cuckoo. You respect him and you want to crush him. I like that. Definitely not Black.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh, finally.
Yes. What kind of gaming chairs do you use? Are you on the Secret Lab train?
Nah, we use the, what do you call this? Office chair, maybe?
Office chairs, okay. Well, I would highly recommend, that you maybe get some Secret Lab chairs because they could be the difference between you guys and Fnatic in the end,
That's very smooth, Black. I love it.
Wow.
No, but big congratulations, man. I know you guys have been working hard.
Thank
Happy
you.
to see it.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yep.
Januel. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us. Congratulations on your win, and we're very much looking forward to seeing you guys perform on an international stage. So once again, congrats.
Thank you.
Cool.
Congratulations
thanks
and
at the
bye-bye.
end there.
They work hard, they play hard.
And they have play hard.
Play hard, work hard.
Yeah, they're living up to their name. Neon continue to be the stars of this SEA region. 2 very tough matches for them to come, though. Fnatic and T1 both on the horizon. Would you say that overall this team has looked stronger than both of those 2 teams?
Definitely stronger than T1.
Yeah.
Fnatic, it really depends on Fnatic themselves. They seem to be off sometimes and on sometimes. If Fnatic is on and Neon is on, it's going to be a brutal match.
Yeah.
But more consistent is definitely, Neon is definitely more consistent.
100%. Lacoste, what do you think the deciding factors is going to be in that game versus Fnatic?
They already secured their spot, but you can feel in his voice that they just want to go straight up undefeated throughout this whole season. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup, that's for sure. I'm still giving a slight edge to Neon.
I think so too. I think out of all the players we've talked to, like Neon, it just comes across that they are the hungriest. They are the team which...
They're the hungriest, but they're down to earth, I asked him about the expectations coming to this tournament. He says, it's... we didn't expect too much. We just didn't want to get bottom 2, which
Not
is really
in line with Scam, actually. Or Debil, who said, yeah, I would definitely expect to go to the major. Maybe not undefeated in the first 2 spots. You know? You can definitely tell there's a little bit of a difference, a mentality.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the team is not one hive mind.
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
they're individual thinkers.
General is definitely the more conservative one.
Yeah. I mean, he's a position 5, right? That's the difference between the 5 and the 4, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna get much farm, you know. We'll see how it's gonna go. But if you ask like carry, mid laners,
yeah, we're gonna go to the
position
major.
for
No,
like,
no
yeah, we're
problem.
going to a major.
Yeah, you give me that Deuce, I buy Rape, he will go major.
Yeah, easy tough. Easy
You need
stuff.
that confidence from your carry and mid players,
You do.
right?
I mean, for everyone, really. But you know, it's a +5. Just give me Troll.
Just give me troll, I hit things, we win game. Easy peasy. Alrighty, well, we are all done for the day, but make sure you join us on February the 13th as we're going to be jumping into Execration versus T1 and Fnatic versus 496. 2 games of some middle contenders, and these are really going to be important for both teams. You know, 496, they're fighting against relegation. Execration are pretty close as well, and the other 2 teams, they're looking to try and make their mark and get to the major, which is getting very, very hard for them to do so. So some very exciting games coming up on February the 13th. Make sure you guys join us, and of course you can check in on the 4K YouTube stream on that day to have it in glorious Ultra HD, so do that if you are so inclined. But from today, we're going to be saying goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. We do hope to see you next time for more SEA DPC action from today. We're saying goodbye and thanks for watching.